Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We were absolutely convinced during that process that Coach Malone and his family are going to represent us with class and integrity. And as Bubba mentioned, I fully expect to see more banners hanging there and more jerseys hanging back there. So, Coach Malone, thank you for kind of trusting us and coming to join us. And I want to officially welcome you into the Tar Heel family.
The nipple head up, left towards the rim. Oh, the double! Who gets it? That's Colt Miller. Walls here, 7 to shoot. Straight from Colt Brenner. Ball's going to put it up. The Trinity J goes. LaMelo.
And this ball slicing down the right field line. If it stays fair, it's trouble. That is gone. That ball stayed fair. I thought Paredes was going to go fair, and it went foul. That one stayed fair down the right field line. Walker's 4th career home run against Kyle Freeland.
That is rolled right field, way back, and it's gone. Moises Ballesteros, a 2-run homer. Swing and a high fly to right. Weaver retreats, still going back. Look at that ball carried to the wall. It is gone. Look at Church celebrate a game-tying homer. That's how you break it over.
Runner goes. There's a swing. That ball's hit well up to left. How about that? Take a bow. Kyle Higashioka.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports headquarters. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
Oh, we're doing all right. How are you?
No, I think we're good.
I think Rico quit
Why?
because he was just like peeling out of the parking lot when I got here. So I think he just said, F this place, I'm out.
Might be the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
Either that or he quit.
Well, I opened my eyes this morning to candles being lit. Not sure how that happened. Because I live with somebody
By
that
Zoe?
had to be. Had to be. Because Jay's she's terrified of fire.
Okay, so she's not lighting candles.
I don't think she would light a candle, go outside, and come back in without blowing it out.
Okay.
So I'm like, it had, and it's certainly not Micah. He, no.
Not a big candle guy?
No.
He
No.
feels like one of those people like, what's the point of this?
Yeah. So I asked, so yesterday, I told him I didn't feel like, well, it kind of just happened that way. It's not that I didn't feel like going back to get him from practice, but he was already out and about. And so I said, hey, just take my, just drive, just go on and go to practice. And came back in, and he doesn't like to pull into the garage. And I was like, hey, sometime, like, just let me know, like, when my back's to him, I'm in the kitchen. I was like, hey, just let me know when you're leaving, so I can kind of know to and let you know what's going on to and from. And he goes, I mean, deadpan, straight face, no ill will, no nothing. He goes, oh, yeah, I mean, I just assume that's what Life 360's for. Said, say, man, sure, makes sense in your head. How about just break me off a call? A little easier that way. Shoot me a text. I don't study Life 360. All right, then I got you.
Is that like they like you can like track where your family members and stuff are? Yeah. Okay.
It's just, I mean, it makes perfectly good sense to him.
Do they think you're just like watching his location all the time?
Boy, I tell you, thank
like,
you.
What?
I thought it was just me.
No.
I was
Because you think you're just like, where's he at?
Listen,
where is
just,
he?
Just kept on shredding cheese. I said, not today, Satan. Not today.
That's all.
Not today, Satan. Trying to get ready for this Nebraska baseball game. Not today, Satan. And I got my other finger. I'm definitely.
You got to get one of those wheels, man.
I am. I'm gonna. I am.
Let me see the finger.
I looked at. So this one is bad because it opened up.
Oh yeah, that's not good. Looks like it's swelling a little bit.
Well, because
you move it to. You got that's a.
So it's queso fresco.
Fresco. So it's super soft.
And it's circular.
Yeah.
I had to get the right angle because I shouldn't even say this. I don't like when you're grating cheese and it gets disproportionate.
Yeah, it's
to
like
the
uneven.
shred.
No, I get it.
Like I like to keep it even.
I do that. Like I turn it and then
So it was circular, and I tried the angle, and it was like, and I was like, "Yep, we're." I'm like, pulled up Walmart. I pulled up TikTok Shop. TikTok Shop has a special with containers.
Yeah.
So I made, you get like storage. I don't really need storage containers. We have some really nice storage containers, but yeah, I got caught up this morning. I was listening to Evan and Michelle. What's
Sportsmanlike?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're totally stereotyping, and I'm in tears.
What was the stereotype this morning?
Well, they were talking about travel, how men travel versus how women travel. And Michelle is self-admittedly a lot of products. She's like, and here women are we've got, 3 lotions and our conditioner and our hair and this and that and the third. And, men historically have like deodorant and a toothbrush. It's like, hey, that's not true. It's not true. I travel with my shaving kit. My shaving kit.
So not just travel, you just go around town with your shaving kit.
It is a survival kit.
It's in the car right now.
There are Altoids, there's mouthwash, there's toothpaste, there's toothbrush, there's a hand lotion, there's deodorant, there is 2 types of powder, there is my pill case, and of course there's dude wipes. Like that is,
and we haven't even gotten to the rubber gloves yet.
That's in the that's there.
Not in the.
They're not
in the travel case.
I couldn't even really explain that. Did I tell you how at the airport last time? Because I forgot. She got me for my scented hand lotion.
Oh no!
Yeah, she said, "I'm sorry, sir. This is gonna." I said, "Hey, put that in the trash. Go ahead, throw that away. You don't have to. Don't put that on display." It's like vanilla bean bath and
what's this here, bud?
And these 2 little dudes, they had their wife beaters on. Their hair was tied up in the do-rag. They were traveling. 2 brothers, right? And they're looking at me. I say, hey, man, don't judge. I like to smell good. They're looking at me sideways like, really? Really?
I just want you to know that I overcame something right there. I'm really proud of myself.
I know what you were gonna say. When I said do-rags and I clarified that they were brothers, you were gonna be like something like, well, no bleep.
It was a little redundant.
It's foul.
I mean, how many white people wearing do-rags?
A lot.
I think
Not
when
so
you
much.
use the term do-rag, it's a pretty safe assumption.
It's too early for this.
I'm just saying.
It's too early for this. Nebraska didn't have any extra base hits last night. I'm not in a great mood.
I will say, I do think that's a little, I don't know that stereotype's correct between men and women. I think it's just like people that have like a little OCD and people that don't.
I
don't know if that's a gender
wouldn't
thing.
call my hygiene OCD.
It's a little borderline. It's not your hygiene. It's just like your obsessive need to have something to maintain your hygiene at all times, and it has to come in a travel case.
When you travel as much as I do, you are self-aware that you're presentable.
That's fair. I'm just saying, like, you were at your house right before this, right?
Yeah.
Where all of your products exist.
You never know.
So you got the, all right. I'm just,
you never know.
Okay.
On a humbug, I could be stuck at my mom's. You never know.
Your mom would be like, DB, you smell.
No, but I have been over there quite a bit, and there's a lot of those products just don't cross. They just don't. No, I'm not a big. A lot of floral stuff over there.
So vanilla bean, okay, florals were out.
Yeah, I'm not wearing like gardenia fuchsia.
Are you kidding me?
You know what I mean?
Like not a big gardenia fuchsia guy.
She uses bar soap as well as her liquid soaps, and she uses Dove. I'm not rolling with Dove.
All right.
Hey.
So that's something she would say too. Like I have a soap case in there's Irish Spring. I like drier soaps. I don't need moisturizers where I feel like I'm taking a
But then you
That
have to
Diddy bath.
then extra moisturize after you're dried out by your soap.
I just need to lotion my hands and my ankles.
Okay.
Outside of that, I don't care. I'm sure the people at Next Gen are like, ooh, ashy booty. Don't care.
Actually, speaking of ashy booty, I want to talk about Akshay Bhatia, who's golfing at the Masters this week.
So I'm excited for those picks.
Yeah, we're gonna do that today. I always forget that
I thought we were doing it tomorrow.
Well, I always forget that it starts before then.
Yeah, because
we had that
early
issue,
tee times.
We had that issue last year where Shane got a freebie.
Okay.
By taking the leader in the clubhouse. We got to do it
ready.
today.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I need to. I have to. I went 19. I'm gonna go 21 deep because we're taking 3 or 4.
Whatever you. I think we're doing 3 and then a wild card.
So 3 is not a ton.
I know. I think that's what we did, right?
We did. 3's fine.
Okay.
I mean, none of us are gonna win. So
well, I mean, we're playing each other, so one of us is going to win.
So a safer way to do it, should we do total prize money, or worry about if you don't make the cut and then how to factor in the cut number? Because JB from KC figured it out last year. He was like, add plus whatever if you miss the cut.
Yeah, prize money is a good idea though, because it does drop off if you don't make the cut, right?
Yeah.
Let's do prize money. That's easier to figure out because doing the scores and then adding stuff in is a pain.
Shane, you good with that?
I'm just learning about this now, so I'm researching.
You just realized that we were going to draft golf. We were going to pick golfers.
I figured it'd be tomorrow.
I mean, we can wait till tomorrow.
Well, we can do today.
Don't
no,
look.
we'll wait. We'll do it at the end. We'll do it towards the end.
But don't look. Don't cheat.
No, they're not playing.
I know. I was saying if he's going to do it tomorrow.
No, we'll do it today.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just got to.
He doesn't listen to the show. He's got time to peruse.
He's not paying attention like Sasha. Sasha's dialed.
Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
it's a little intimidating that she's in my sight line now.
I like you when Sasha's here.
No, I had to walk out yesterday. Did you not hear I just told you the day before?
Yeah, because she came in and gave me that right after she talked to you.
Yeah, I'm good on that. We did talk for 64 minutes yesterday, though. 64 minutes.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about taking a break until 8:05.
Yeah.
I don't even know how we got there.
I don't know. Usually I look up and it's like 7:40 or something. So but the 8:05 was aggressive.
It's fine.
So maybe we shamed Rico into leaving.
Yeah. Where did he go? Can you tell us, or is it private?
Private.
I don't know.
I don't think it's private. Austin, they had car issues this morning, so Rico went to go pick up Austin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I knew I didn't see AJ.
What a nice.
And I wait. I'm in with the GNS guys, and they're out in the park. I'm not coming in any earlier than I have to.
I know he doesn't like hanging out with us.
Well, you're gonna get all your hours. Just we don't have to expedite it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine.
I was looking for. I think I left my phone in the car again. I know you're shocked. I was trying to find, on the heels of this 3 or 4 weeks of sentiment, and I can't remember who in the chat. It was probably Brian. He never really says anything constructive, but he was like, I don't know, something about selling a bill of goods or oh, no. He said it's off-putting to some fans when I act like I don't know why they're
upset. Why they're negative or pessimistic.
And I like most things that I think are kind of not very smart. I just kind of moved on. I was like, I don't know. Should I assume? So anyway, I went back and I was just thinking about, especially on the heels of baseball last night, I don't think we're going to overreact, but a couple sentiments, right? Typically the empty can rattles the loudest. I was just looking for positives, because I'm a big, what are you doing in the meantime while you're waiting to win?
Yeah, or like what's next? Like what do you do now?
Yeah. So I tried to go back and we talked about softball and Coach Ravel and this newfound. It almost, Nate Rohr talked about how it started after she came back from the investigation, turning a negative into a positive, and
which people forget now. Like most people thought she was going to be fired.
Oh, I know.
Like that was people thought it was like once you get into the investigation, this thing's a wrap.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
like
sure.
it was stunning that she was not fired.
Yeah, and she
at the time.
And I can't remember where she was speaking last year. She was at an event and she like openly talked about what happened and kind of what surrounded that. And I'm like, shoot, that's pretty impressive, right? And we've seen her kind of reap the benefits of kind of a cultural shift that late in her career. Coach Hoiberg with staying the course amongst I was talking about this with Bigelow yesterday, and I have to be careful because sometimes if I could easily talk to Jacob probably 3 hours and the day's gone. So sometimes I just have to put my phone down. But the revisionist history that surrounds the success,
all of them.
But we were super dismissive in the chat of it yesterday. Like we made it about a lot of other things other than being like just picking and choosing sides.
Yeah.
Coach Bolt last year with the regular season and then needing the late season run to kind of salvage the expectation level, and then how he ended, and it wasn't in a great spot, and then where they are this year.
Well, and let's not forget, I mean, I think it was in an interview we did before the season when doing like baseball media days. I can't remember who, I think it was Ty Horn was like, yeah, there were some cancers on the team last year. That's a thing he said out loud to media.
Yeah.
And like somehow we don't hold Bolt responsible for that. And it sounds like it's a very big reason why last year went the way it went. But we're just like, just a couple bad apples. It's like, who brought the bad? And listen, I'm not saying we should kill Bolt, but I'm saying like that amount of grace is never extended.
I think we just have to be careful, right? Because it's like you don't want to. If you want to just stand in the corner with your arms folded, it's easy to say, well, you just want to defend football. But when you use multiple other sports as examples, at some point we got to get into facts over feelings, right? Like football is just going to be different because of the expectation level.
Sure.
And football is the one sport where we have really, really outspoken opinions on if we like the coach or not. We don't know near as much about how people feel about Amy Williams as we did like Bo Pelini or Mike Riley or Scott Frost or Coach Rhule. Oh, he's back. Hi, buddy.
Hey, Rico.
He weighs. Sasha's like, yeah, what am I, chopped liver? No, Sasha's still goated. It's fine. So I was looking at like some of the things that I think that they can build on, because I was talking to some of the guys yesterday about the first couple of days of OTAs and just the mission. Like, what are we on in this off season? And it's kind of weird. I don't know if this is good or bad. We'll see how it manifests itself over time. But a lot of it is if I had to kind of surmise it, it's partly maximizing, like no complaining, like just go to work. Like I hear that a lot. Hey, chopping wood, go to work. Chopping wood, go to work. I love that. The other part I hear a little bit though is kind of this prove them wrong thing. And I think I'm okay with that in small doses, but it is starting to kind of seep in.
Yeah.
Right. Like kind of this, it's us or not.
Going us versus them.
And but hear my heart. I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend like we didn't do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
We did. And when we played. So this isn't some newfound rallying cry. Like I a couple of very outspoken D linemen. Hey, F them.
Yeah.
Clinton Childs. Hey, this doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. This is about us. Right. Like at some point when you feel like you have to hunker down, this is kind of what you naturally gravitate towards.
Is
So
this like post 93 when like they can't win the big one thing was probably at a fever?
It was at an all-time high.
Yeah.
It was at an all-time high.
Yeah. Because that honestly, the
and
way
we had to transition from the last older senior group in 93. Because remember, we didn't start the uni council until 92.
Yeah.
So you really only had kind of one off season in 1 year to kind of really make a full pendulum swing into being more other centered and peer-to-peer accountability, because that's hard. Right. But we always say, man, the best led teams are the player led teams. Like, you ever watch kids receive instruction from other kids? It can be a debacle. Right? It's because we assume leadership traits just exude themselves, but sometimes you have to be a good follower too.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated because what 4 months of OTAs give you is a lot of time with yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Which is one of the reasons why I kept bringing back to, I'm not sure they'll ever go back to
later spring
games.
Yeah.
I just not as long as this staff's here.
I mean, I kind of like the idea of it. Give yourself they got
a long ass runway.
I like having a real reference point though, post last season where you've got the new guys and getting that reference point early enough that like, hey, this is what went well. This is what didn't go well. We've got some time here to try and correct some of these things. Like I understand. I like the principle behind it. I just on the us versus them thing, I think part of the reason I get so defensive is probably not exactly the right word, but it's the best one I have right now.
You're getting defensive?
Yeah, about the way people react to the coaching staff and the team and things like that.
Can I answer him?
Yeah,
real quick?
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yes, they can OTAs. You have a certain amount of allotment to interact with your player.
Yeah. But part of the reason I get so kind of like bristled up about the way people talk about the staff and the players and the team and things like that is I was really hoping, and maybe this is just not a thing that ever happens with successful teams, and I could just be out here, thinking about rainbows and butterflies and unicorns and things that are never going to happen.
It's not only rainbows and butterflies, it's compromise that moves us along.
I was really good job, Adam. I was really hoping we could get to winning without having it become adversarial.
I don't think you're going to hear anything out loud. I do think quietly though. It's like what I told you at the complex where my guy was talking about the schedule and how the schedule talk bugs him. We wouldn't know that unless I actually said something.
For sure.
And I wasn't going to say it. I don't even know how I got to that point, but I'm not going to kid you though. There's part of it that's reassuring.
Sure. Like I understand the mindset to be in that spot and how that can be useful. I was just hoping like as a fan base, like we could just have something nice for once.
Nah, I don't think, and I'm the eternal, this is weird to talk about role reversal. I'm the eternal optimist, but I don't foresee that. I don't foresee that it's intense.
Yeah.
It's very intense.
And maybe that's just not a thing that happens. Like I made fun of the Georgia guy a couple years ago for being like, nobody believed in us. It's like, you literally won the championship last year.
I was melting down over that because I was like, it doesn't matter what we think.
Right. No, I get that. But like, listen, if you can get them to believe that nobody believes in them, I understand how that's better. I also understand that if you're not in the silo of that Georgia football building, nobody else believes that.
Yeah. But the thing I think I think the devil's in the details though. It doesn't matter what they're motivated by.
No, I get that.
Because we have no idea.
I was just hoping
everybody's gonna be juiced about something.
Listen, not to use TK's favorite word, I'm traumatized by the
He
Bo
stole
era.
that to use as a bit because he thinks I'm traumatized by everything because I said traumatized like 7 times. Which was apparently 5 too many.
I'm a little traumatized by the Bo era where it went pretty sour doing that.
No, so it's different.
Okay, so tell me the difference. Give me a little reassurance here, because you understand what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, because I think
because that got kind of nasty.
Oh yeah, but the difference is, in my opinion, the difference is you have a coach that understands the level of importance of support.
Okay.
Like he's not going to sit here and beat his chest and say, "Hey, listen, these guys aren't for you. They don't believe in you." Yeah. That's not his message.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to say you got to ride with the folks that are riding with you, and everybody else. You have to find a way. Well, how would he say it? Because I've seen it in workouts, right? It's sometimes it's like, hey, you're a representative, you're an extension of the state, like do them proud. Then some days it may be like, hey, who believes? Who believes? And it's more open-ended than, hey, they're not riding with you. Put your fists up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Now the players are gonna do what they do, like they always have, though. Right? Because it's just so much, it's just the last 10, 15 years have changed. Like I was listening to Axel Undenborg, who kind of had the audacity to say, like, nobody believed in him.
Mm-hmm.
You see him holding the sign?
Yeah.
Shock the world?
Yeah.
Well, you were the second largest fave, and it was the difference of like $10.
Yeah.
Like Duke was plus 120, you were plus 130. Like a lot of people wouldn't have been shocked.
And you're number one like a lot of the year, like
with crazy metrics to boot, right? But that's a guy that plays at a high level as a competitor that still believes that deal. Like you just never know.
Yeah. I mean,
BP, I'm a huge Silk the Shocker guy.
You've got, the most famous example of this is you hear all these things that Michael Jordan would literally just make up in his own head in order to motivate. So like, I understand that part of it. It is probably a little PTSD from the Bo era where I really don't want it to get to that point.
I don't think it is.
I hope you're right.
Like, don't let me I'm just talking about guys it's a long off season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think going 1-0 has got to be at the forefront. But I'm not going to sit here and be disingenuous and be like, listen, man, it was why I felt like the conversation with Mitch was so fascinating. This is when the guys were like going in on, well, what do you mean? Why are we so negative? What do you mean? Why are we so negative? And I'm like, okay, I understand. You don't want to fast forward to just having to have meaningful Novembers, but I understood needing to have meaningful Novembers. But what I can't get past is you can't, like, you have to win in East Lansing.
Yeah.
Right? That's in the first quarter of the season.
Yeah.
So, like, you have to, if you want to have part of the success of your season means going to Champaign and winning. Or where is that game? Is that at Champaign?
I believe that's at Champaign, yeah. That's one of the,
so, like, I understand momentum. The conversation, like, go back. There was a lot in there
with Mitch
from Mitch yesterday where I was having like ping pongs in my head because I'm like, ooh, the sentiment. And I even told him that's probably about as objective as I've heard like a media take on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just got me to think about like how they have to stay dialed, because the big thing that I've heard, and I'm there a fair amount, right? It is knocking out the day-to-day.
Yeah.
It is April 8th.
Yes.
If you're dialed in on knocking out the day-to-day, you got a long way to go. Till you get a chance to make
4.5 months,
any sort of dent.
Right? 4.5 months.
And I admire the process. So it leads me, like, if I'm just going to land the plane, like, this is why I'm thinking about what else is motivating them. Because it's April 8th. You're X amount of days in the OTAs. You have another block of schedule that you have to do to that. Then you're going to be in the walkthrough. Like, this is going to be a grimy grind. and it is intentional. Like basically you inversed spring and winter conditioning.
So also I was going to ask, like, if what's the schedule look like for like the hardcore strength and conditioning part of their season now since they moved spring?
So they have a good chunk of the meat.
Right now?
Right now.
Yeah. Because basically you didn't get that 2-3 months of winter.
No, you remember
block.
how he liked that first 8-week building block? You didn't get any of that.
Yeah.
So now we're doing
that now.
Yeah. So you're thinking, you're talking about your strength and conditioning, your nutrition, your target weight. You're basically assessing what happened with your film work. Like you want to take an easy one. One of the plays I think you want to do is, I'm guessing one of the plays you sent me that you want to break down for the Patreon. Was it Tyson Terry's hustle or how they defended the screen?
How they defended the screen.
Okay. So I'm looking at that play whenever you sent it. And I'm like, ooh, this dog will hunt. What do I like about this play? This person, this person, this person, this person. So like, let's say, and this is a teaser, if this is the play, because you sent me like 4.
Yeah.
If this is the play that we use, there's a play where you're looking at like Nebraska's on a stunt, right? They're on a TE stunt. They're getting after the passer. They get some pass rush. It's a quick flare screen out to the back. Everybody rallies. It's like a no-yard gain. I'm watching.
That's where Booth comes into motion, lines up in the backfield, and then they get the swing out pass to him.
Yeah, so I'm watching D linemen get vertical in the pass game, then get down the line of scrimmage to stop screen. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, this guy's on the tackle, this guy's on the tackle, D-line did this. And I immediately thought, all right, this is my frame right now. As a D lineman, I made that play. Is this how I want to play as a front? If this is how I want to play as a front, what does me as an individual have to do to get my body ready to be able to play like that?
Sure.
That's how you knock off April 8th. And then you look at, and then April 9th is part of the process. And then, whatever you do on Friday, like it's real mechanical and you have to be able to embrace it. So if you want to stay dialed and understand what this season really means, because I do think it's critical, right? I think, and I've talked about, I'm on record. I'm not even so concerned at what the year is, because I think the low-hanging fruit that people don't understand or they want to gravitate towards to stay in the muck is either a year 3 this or a year 3 that, or he said this. Like, mistakes have been made. There's no doubt about it. But you cannot live there. Not if you want to move the program forward.
Yeah.
So, it'll be, you can't fast forward to like May 12th. You can't fast forward to like June 7th. Like, because every day is going to matter, and they did it intentionally. So what's motivating you? Like, that's kind of where I'm at, because I think you do have to understand the importance of the year. You're putting yourself in position to be able to take off if you can make the main thing the main thing. That's probably the most important thing, I think, for this football team heading into 2020. You have to keep the main thing the main thing. The main thing is your trajectory is on the uptick from where you started. And you cannot be caught in the fact you didn't end the way that you wanted to. You have to, this is crazy, but you have to zoom out.
Yeah.
You have to zoom out to be able to drill back in. Zooming out is roster retention, the culture, how the building is starting to be able to police itself. You've got better people in the building. You have a couple of more adults in the building. I just think it's important. Other sports on campus that are experiencing success have got to tinker with their staff. So you can't be sidetracked by the fact you've had to tinker with your staff, because even the greatest of the greats, Saban famously said, it takes 3 to 4 years to get the right staff.
Mhm.
You have to know that going in, and there is some trial and error. And sometimes you do things because you think it's what your team needs right now, and then you get in it, and it's like, that wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
Like that happens.
Yeah.
We act like it doesn't, though.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Clearly.
And so but you can't be sidetracked by that.
Yeah.
'Cause you can't say, oh, you can't think like that. That's just their opinion. That's just people's opinion. Don't try to change the way you think. You got to have some resolve in why you think the way you do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Don't try to change my mind.
Well, and clearly last year, Rhule thought the thing that the defense needed was consistency in the scheme.
Yeah.
And he probably would tell you, like, yeah, I missed on that.
If I don't know if I can. I didn't bring my phone. Man, I'm tempted. But we don't have phones. I didn't
Send him a link.
I didn't bring it in. I want you to ask him that.
Okay.
I do, because I think he would be super forthright. I don't know if it would alleviate like the critics, because I think ultimately it's going to boil down to winning. But I think we act like he thinks he didn't make any mistakes.
Yeah, that's clearly not the case. He fired a bunch of people.
Like, no. So it's not even that, because then you get the pushback of, well, he hired him. Why should he get? Because we're we don't.
No, I'm saying, but like, if you know you made a mistake, then you change things. Like, that's how I view the firings. Like, I understand he's responsible for the hirings also, but like, you can't genuinely say it can't be both things. He can't be both. Hey, I think I made great hires and I didn't make any mistakes, because if he made great hires, they'd still be here.
Why do you think he and Coach Hoiberg are so close?
I think they approach things pretty similarly.
There's like 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, I think they have a very similar outlook on things.
Remember the first initial staff? Hey, this is going to work, and this is why I'm doing it, and this is what we need for. Yeah, they like
that didn't work.
Like there's a reason they're connected. He wasn't flying there to support basketball to be a distraction to what they were doing in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
He was flying there and getting caught up in the hoopla. He was flying there to support his guy. The basketball gatekeepers are like, oh man, stay away from basketball, stay away. Nah, man, like those guys, that's their relationship.
You also you want your athletic department to support each other, and also like
you do, but we've seen it on the periphery where people glob on to something. Who's the guy that you couldn't stand? He turned out not to be a very good guy. The Ole Miss thing. Remember, he offered Chris Hickman out of high school, and then Ole Miss was Bo hated the guy. Ole Miss was in the College World Series, and he came to. Anyway,
you're not talking Kiffin.
No. This is
way before that.
Yeah. Remember, we wanted the wide receiver. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah, Hickman's way back.
Yeah.
It's not so after Orgeron.
I can't remember. I can't remember who it was. But anyway, like we didn't like that he came, or guys will come just to support somebody just for the sake of it, and they don't. Hugh Freeze. Thank you, Chucky Chuck. Man, damn it. Yeah. And
right there.
Like, that's not genuine.
No.
But sometimes we confuse that, though. Like, you're just riding the wave, the bandwagons. Stringfellow. Yes, very good, K. Pizzle. Yeah. That's not what that was.
Yeah.
So I think, when you take a look and you try to redefine successes, and if you're going to double down on the process, you have to be able to kind of stay in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, first time All-America. Hey, you pull out your defensive stats, because you have to have something to hang on to. We stopped 42% of this, or we're better on explosives here, or whatever. Like, you have to be able to incrementally do that without getting distracted by what's happening in the background, because in the meantime, you have guys that have to be, it's not bought in, have to be a part of the day-to-day process to get you where you ultimately need to be. Right? So if I'm Price Sanford, like, I can't be worried about the people are comparing if it's a good portal hire or a good portal acquisition, or if I'm a better get than Josh Dix, or Jamarcus Lawrence, who's had to have these conversations like, oh, retread, Lawrence part 2 didn't work the first time, coming back. You know, because we're misremembering. It was actually like that.
Yeah. Until we decided we liked him.
It was, well, they had to start winning first.
Yeah.
Right. So they have to know that. They have to know that. You know, it was what do you mean, coordinator? DB, quit apologize. Oh, that's not what this is, though. See, I don't, maybe I'm not clear.
I think people hear what they want to hear.
There is no apology. There is no apology. I'm not apologizing for anything. Like, I don't want you to be okay. This isn't for you guys. This is for the team that's training to be better this year. I'm not even remotely interested in changing the way you think. I'm not. Like, there's no apologies. I think what's important is to understand the methodology on how you try to get better.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that they can really do.
That's the only thing any of us can, like, that's the only thing any of them can control, right? Is their methodology on trying to get better. They can't control how we process it. They can't control
huge Kevin Gates guy too.
They can't control, you can't control how it's perceived outside your program. All you can do is try and control the methodology by which you're trying to get better.
Yeah, because you're going to need those guys over 4 months to really understand what's at stake.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because, I mean, critical is critical. And this is, it's big.
Yeah.
Because you're on the cusp. I feel like that's a secret motion for Suave. I like little Timmy haircut. I think it's critical to set up a legit runway.
Yeah.
If you want to take off, you better understand, I think, what has to happen this year. Because you're positioning, you're just fueling the jet.
Yeah.
And you have to look at it without saying to yourself, we need to just get by, because you have to have progress. There has to be tangible progress to garner the momentum, to put your roster in a position where you can actually take off.
You know what I think is interesting, and then we'll take a break here, is I feel like when you have people take off before they fueled the jet or before they've built, because, like, I would argue Nebraska has been they had to build the runway, right? It's not they just had to go down it in the plane. Mm-hmm. I would argue that the runway was cratered, right? That's the argument I've been making for most of the past week in terms of where the program was.
Like I am too. I am too, Corn Raider. Like, you can bold that, because I think that's a fair take. Yeah. This is not irrational. This is not unreasonable.
I mean, how did I respond to the Butler hire last year?
I know.
I was not happy about it.
No, I know.
Because there were other guys I wanted that I thought were better.
I know.
Right? Yeah. So, like, it's not like we're glossing over the mistakes.
Yeah,
but
I love the fact that Rhule sees his mistakes and not afraid to fix it, but I'm still pissed. Yeah, like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's totally fair.
But if I said, so is he, is that,
then people think you're being an apologist. That's what it is, though.
Again, facts.
Yeah.
Over feelings.
Here's the other part of it is my problem with that statement. I agree, because listen, I brought up the Butler example. You know I was pissed about that.
Every day.
I wanted Simons from SMU.
Every day.
I told you that. I was like, hey, tell your boy, go get Simons from SMU.
Every day.
Like, I was mad about Butler. But once it happens, I'm not going to root against him so I can be right. I wanted the defense to be good because I want to win.
Yeah.
But the point is, everybody is going to make mistakes. That's the only problem I have with the thing Corn Raider said, is everybody is going to make mistakes. The only people that give you a chance are the ones that realize it and try and fix them.
Yeah.
No one's going to go undefeated.
Yeah, I don't.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you think he makes too many of them, that's a different conversation. If you don't think he fixes them well, that's a different conversation. But you can't be like, I want the guy that doesn't make mistakes, because that guy doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right? I would argue that I'm sure.
I'm just telling you, that's not. We'll take a break. Mm-hmm. That's not the most egregious of the decisions. It's how you compounded it with what surrounded it.
Yeah.
That was the biggest misstep.
I mean, when this all went down with Tony White leaving at that time, who was the guy I told you I was most upset about losing?
I know. Our D-line coach.
Terrence Knighton. I loved Terrence Knighton.
Yeah.
That was the guy I was like, that one hurts a lot. I think he's really good.
That's the part like
that I think hurt him last year.
That's the part that you don't know how it's going to coexist until you actually see it unfold.
Yeah.
And it was,
which is, by the way, and we'll take a break here, but that's why people freak out about this. That's why coaches hire coaches they know already. Because you don't know, even if like in a vacuum, this guy's a good coach. In a vacuum, this guy's a good coach. You don't know how that Kool-Aid's going to mix together. Yeah. So we freak out when people hire people they know. We freak out when they hire people they don't know and it doesn't work out. Like, I understand being pissed at the mistakes. We're pissed at the mistakes too. But the only guys that give you a chance are the ones that actually see them and try and fix them.
Hey, dirty little secret.
Yeah.
Of everybody that's pissed and how it actually manifested itself, who'd have the most? Who should be the most upset?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
That'd be your boy.
It
directly affected me.
We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
Staying on the path of the common bowlers, trying to help them out. Do you have any tips to impress your friends for people like me or those at home?
Yeah, I think if anything, when you just look at the physics of it, if you throw a ball that weighs more or if you can throw the ball faster, those two things are going to help you knock down more pins. But to actually get the ball on the right line, I think the two easiest things to think about are where your hips are lined up to when you're releasing it, and then also where your forearm and elbow are lined up to. And so you're going to want to keep those at the pin in the very front. And if you do that, then hopefully you should hit that front pin.
Yeah, I got word a couple days before that the award was going to happen. I enjoyed the time in Indy. It was great to catch up with some former coaches that we either coached against in the league that are no longer there. Being out there with my family. My daughter drove in from Chicago. She's engaged to somebody that's actually from Indiana, from Batesville, about an hour from Indianapolis. So we had breakfast the next morning with Paige's future mother-in-law and sister-in-law, and it was great. It was fun to catch up with them. I had met her one time. She was at the Purdue game, but this is the first time to spend time, and it's really excited for Paige and in the family she's about to join. And I know this, I'm rambling here, and this is probably boring to everybody, but yeah, it was fun to see them and Sam being there and Charlie being there. The only one that wasn't was Jack. I think they were in Golden State playing a road game against the Warriors. So yeah, it was special.
to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We took a break in the first hour. We nailed it.
Getting better.
At 8 o'clock here, we've got our guy Brian CHRISTOPHERSON from Husker 24/7. At 8:30, it's Andy KENDEIGH from KETV. At 9, it is Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball.
Let's go.
And then I know it's a guest-heavy show today. We got Ryan Edwards at 9:40. He is a talk show host for KOA Colorado, and we are talking to him because he's got some familiarity with your new basketball coach, Mike Malone.
Hey, did you like the intro?
Michael Malone. Sorry, I think he doesn't like being called Mike.
Are we doing that?
I don't know. I'm going to call him Mike probably.
I just want to say Eminem. Eminem.
Should I call him Coach Malone?
Yeah.
Should I call him
it just post.
Unk Malone?
Yeah. You know what's I'm just going back to this facts over feelings thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's you know how like optics are important, right?
Sure.
And you kind of want progress, but like just how to stay motivated. This whole thing, right? Like, you know, for as maligned as Nebraska was defensively,
mm-hmm.
right? They're like one of 5 teams nationally to rank in the top 30 national defense, like the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
They posted their first shutout defensively in how many years do you think it's been since Nebraska's last shutout?
Oh, I'm like a decade.
16 years.
So 2009?
16 years.
Jeez. Yeah.
Right. How many, what less than, more than, right around, how many opponents in Coach Rhule's tenure do you think percentage of opponents Nebraska's held to 14 points or fewer?
Oh, that's interesting.
14 points or fewer.
Over all 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
I would say 40%.
42%. On the dizzle. 42%. You want another staggering stat?
Mm-hmm.
Rico, how many non-con football games has Nebraska won in a row? How many non-conference football games has Nebraska won in a row?
Well, they won all 4 this year.
Well,
they won
Utah, right? We're not counting the bowl game. Okay.
No? Okay, so they won all 4 this year. They were undefeated last year, right? I'm going to go with like a little 10.
You say?
I think it's 7.
It's 9. It's very good. Very good processing. So they've won 9 non-con games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
That's the longest at Nebraska in how many years?
Okay, we got to go pre-Riley because he lost to BYU.
They've won 9 non-con games in a row.
So definitely pre-Riley. So we're at least at 2014. I'll say we're at 2014.
I'm gonna go 2012.
It's the 9 consecutive non-con wins is the longest at Nebraska in 24 years.
Jeez. So Solich.
9.
That's ridiculous.
9. So the number, listen, the difference between what I'm trying to do,
mm-hmm.
You're exactly right, A-Train, do and versus apologizing is you have to have some perspective for this team if you really want them to get better in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Like those things have to matter. So I don't do this to defend anybody. I do this because if you take how you feel about the current situation aside, his job is to coach these guys and get them into a position where they can have success in 2026. So he has to be able to find things that are tangible, that are factual, that they can build on, regardless of how we feel, regardless of how I feel. Like you have to be able to build on those kinds of things. I mean, we can't celebrate mediocrity but not acknowledge what we perceive to be mediocrity, but not acknowledge it. What do you mean, Chuck?
How's
what, 9?
People are counting the bowl game as a non-con game.
Yeah,
so they're saying
it's not. I'm not counting the bowl game as non-con. But I think I said that. Let me say this. Right, we haven't loved the offense. We think we kind of do. Do you know where Nebraska is in the turnover margin? And in Coach Rhule's tenure?
I know they've gotten better each year.
Yeah,
I don't know the rankings off the top of my head.
Like they were positive in the turnover margin, like a positive. First time since.
Oh, that is since what's the 9-3 Mike Riley year? That's
I think
they were 0 at that year.
Yeah, they broke even.
They were 0 that year. So that's got to be 2012.
What's that?
Is that right?
It's crazy for the turnover margin, right?
Yeah.
And they actually this year, this past year. Like they set a record for fewest turnovers in a season. You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Without, and it's not a bill of goods. It's just kind of where you have. It's okay, Chuck. It's okay, Chuck.
That's why I keep bringing up this thing that everyone's.
It's okay. I'm letting you off the hook because you come across sometimes when people want to get mad and poke buttons, push your buttons, like it works. I don't want you involved. I'm just giving you the facts.
Yeah.
These aren't my feelings. I'm just giving you the facts. Like, so with 4 months of OTAs, my point is you have to be able to do stuff like this. You just do, because you're not afforded the luxury to just sit with your arms folded and pout. You just can't.
Yeah.
You leave that to other people. You got to drill down and to think. And we're talking deep dive here.
Yeah.
I got some things that'll blow your mind. And I cannot be happy with the way the season ended. But I blame Mitch for having a fantastic conversation, because I told you I was conflicted.
Yeah.
Meaningful November, progress, 4 months OTAs. I want this to I'm in the success business, so I want to figure out what we can build on for the guys in the moment, because clearly I'm personally invested.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break. We've got Brian Christopherson coming up next here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
I'm Kyle Byers with Hurrdat Sports, and today we are at the Sac Museum in Ashland, Nebraska. And last year, the Sac Museum allowed us to come in and film the Omaha Supernovas for their content day. So this year, once Starla arrived, we thought there was no better place to be to film her content day, which is here. So we appreciate the relationship between the Omaha Supernovas, Hurrdat Sports, and the Sac Museum, and we thank them for allowing us to come film Starla's content day here today.
Yeah, we just thought, we thought AJ's a awesome kid. He's an awesome kid. People, if you're not around him a lot, he can be misunderstood. But, AJ's an entertainer. He's an entertainer. He wrestles with a lot of energy. He performs with a lot of energy and a lot of passion for the sport. And we loved our time with him, but we just felt that it was time to move on and go a different direction. We have Cade Ziola, who redshirted. We got Harley Enders at heavyweight. We feel really good at the heavyweight position. And then 197, Cam McDaniel has 2 years left. So, we wish AJ the best. And, good kid. And we enjoyed our time with him.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live. Here is Husker 24/7 senior writer, Brian Christopherson.
Yeah, you got guys walking into Ace Hardware without their shirts on.
Brian Christopherson.
We got a pretty good sewing circle in this state.
Brian Christopherson.
To me, it's like crunch time, baby.
Here is Brian Christopherson.
Welcome back. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DBM Ravi Lulla. We are joined now by Brian Christopherson from Husker 24/7. BC, what's going on, man?
Oh, not a lot. How are you guys?
Hi, Brian. How are things?
I'm doing well. You're awfully close to Ravi there.
I don't have a computer, so I like to be able to see you.
Here we go. Yeah, there we go.
No, I'm just practicing. Like, I want to know, like, what it's like to be able to talk to you and see you versus if I go back over here and I can't see you. Like, because I talked to you last week on the floor, and I was like, God, I wonder if that's annoying.
Yeah, last week I had a delay problem or something, and I blamed Shane. I think it was my fault though, so don't take it out on Shane. But it seems like we're in a good rhythm here. However you want to look at me.
The coolest thing ever is being able to blame Shane. I don't even know why we would get off of that.
I like Shane a lot.
Everybody does. It's disappointing.
Yeah.
It's really disappointing, B.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
He butters me up with a lot of exclamation points. So like he throws a lot of exclamation points in his text, and it kind of, I don't know, it works on me for whatever reason.
I'm gonna be honest, that would turn me against him.
Yeah, I used to be like that too, Ravi. I was really anti exclamation point for a long time, and I realized in like this is something in our society that probably isn't for the better, but it's the way it is. Over the last 5 years, you almost have to drop an exclamation point on some text, or the person, I feel like, comes away that they were slighted or something. Like it's almost become necessary. And I don't know why that is. So I've become one of those guys who throws an exclamation point on when I'm like trying to get a recruit to talk to me or something.
BC, we were trying to find ways to like stay dialed, like just kind of keep Nebraska focused football. right? Because it's a critical year. They're not kind of afforded the luxury to mire and misery. They understand that the season didn't finish the way that they wanted to, but we're trying to come up with ways that we think the staff could be accentuating positives for growth, right? Because they're not afforded the luxury to be able to throw their hands up in the air and say, you know what, blew the staff out, or, we're not good in November, or, they don't typically bring up, the negatives to stay there. How important do you think mindset is in this long 4 months of OTAs that was pretty intentional, where it's just them and their thoughts getting cracking for this 2026 season?
Yeah, if I'm on the right trail with you, I do think within the walls especially, it's probably critical to have some of those points that you're always putting in front of guys, like, yeah, there's this that we know we have to get better on. Everybody on the outside world's going to tell you how much better you have to get at these specific things. But there are also these categories where there is improvement. So you could look at, I know you were talking about like sort of handling like the non-conference and things like that, winning, like a game like at Maryland, people on the outside could poo-poo that, but you get your guys in a meeting, and that's a late drive that Nebraska didn't always have, or a win that escaped them for a long time. That was a big topic off season, was like losing all the close games, and they won a couple of them where they pulled away in the fourth quarter prior to what happened the last 3 games. And so I'm not here to wave the pom-poms for them, but I do think that is important to put those facts in front of your guys just as much as everybody else puts the other ones out there, and you probably have to walk that balance as a coach.
BC, as we, we're a couple weeks removed from spring now, and we're kind of going through these OTAs. We've been talking a lot about kind of the mindset that the players and coaches need to have. Are you looking at any sort of like benchmarks of like, hey, I don't know, we're not going to get a ton of access to these guys, but by summer, I'd kind of like to see X. And by the time they come back in fall camp, I'd like to see X. Have you sort of, with the changing schedule, have you sort of started to put landmarks that you're checking in at, or are you just kind of seeing how this goes because this is a new thing that we don't really understand in terms of the pacing of it anymore?
Unfortunately, it's not a good answer, but I think it's the latter, Ravi, because it is a different like timetable for all of us. And I just don't think those of us on the outside are going to know a whole lot more on July 20th, than we do now. I just think that's the way it's going to be. I listen to your guys' first hour, and Damon
has wild.
What's that?
Were some of those stats in this 3-year, 10-year wild?
Yeah, I mean, I was also doing the trash, so I might have missed a couple things, but yeah. Which stats in particular, though?
Well, I talked to, and people will poo-poo it, but right? They obviously forget, like, losing to Troy at home or
Georgia
things, Southern or things like that. But like we're like, we've afforded ourselves the luxury to like eye roll at a 9-game non-con winning streak, right? That's the longest in 24 years. You have to start somewhere, right? Without apologizing for not being where you want to be. Or you've had one listen, BC, you've had one offensive All-America in 24 years. And it happened last year.
Right.
One.
Yeah, that goes back to the first answer. I think it is important to put those sort of things in front of your guys, and because everything else is out there and they hear it, they know what goes on. And so it's a good deal to, but we've also excelled at this, and this, obviously there's the truth telling sessions where everybody knows what has to improve and what hasn't been good enough. But, turnover margin was something that they've started to flip their way, and hopefully can continue that. That's going to be a big one. So you can take that as a positive, and then you can look at other things. I'm sure on certain days or certain meetings where you're doing your red zone study and both the offense and the defense see a lot of things there. I mean, the defense especially, I always look at that red zone touchdown percentage last year, and I think, man, if they could have just stood up, even 5 or 6 more times and forced field goals, how does that change things? And so I guess that's an example, like red zone defense last year. That could be like a definite negative on the surface when you're like last in the FBS in red zone touchdown percentage. Or you can look at it from the vantage point of you've got a new crew and you've got new ideas, and you're telling your guys, that's a stat. Like if you flip that and you're even top 65 in the country, you maybe win 1 or 2 more games just off that alone. And so even the stuff that I guess what I'm saying has been negative or isn't where you want it. I do think there's probably ways you can talk to your team that it's not just beating them over the head like this is always the way it's going to be. It can be more like, hey, if we just flip this 2 notches, imagine where that can take us, and that can be a motivating thing. I would believe.
Yeah, like the whole sugar and the sugar and vinegar. What's the other spice you give people when you're gonna give them some good and some bad?
I think it's vinegar, right?
Is it oil and
I don't know,
vinegar?
Like if I'm gonna give them the sugar of, hey, listen, the facts are you're one of 5 teams, just one of 5 in Coach Rhule's tenure that rank in the top 30 in total defense the last 3 seasons. Like that is a fact. That's the sugar. And I would pit it with, and listen, guys, we haven't been good in the red zone defensively. Let's focus on this, right? Where there's this truth, the whole facts over feelings thing, right? 1 of 5. That's pretty good. And you pit it with, but here's where we need to get better. Don't rest in that over here. Let's figure out how we can get better here. Like that's kind of how the offseason, in my opinion, for this team, if they want to mature emotionally, kind of has to work, right? You can't browbeat, but you also can't, just because you can get to the 5-foot mark and get on the roller coaster doesn't mean you get to spend time at Disneyland either. You know what I mean?
Right. I always think it helps too in this era we're in. If you didn't have the ending that you wanted last season, which they didn't, but you've got all these newcomers who have already been on the field for 15 practices with you. You've got your Owen Chamblises, your Dwayne McDougals, and those guys come in with a completely different mindset. Like they wouldn't even be involved in this conversation we're having right now in a way, right? Because it wasn't part of them last year. Like they don't have any scars, or they haven't thought about like how this defense was perceived under Tony White as to how it's compared or what it was last year, and like those kind of conversations. They just know like, hey, I played for this guy Rob Orich, and he's had top 5, top 10 defenses and done really well at having pretty quick changeovers wherever he's been. I believe in his stuff, and that's what I think we're going to do here. There's an example is Dwayne McDougall said what any competitor should say, where he was confident in the spring, like, this is a good defense. He's like, that front can be good. He said, no, he said, check that. I think we can be a great defense. And so I put the quote out on X or whatever. And of course you get the pushback, like, why are you going to say that? Like these guys should less talking, guys. So just stop the talking, And I'm thinking to myself, what do you want from guys that are like inside the walls? Do you want them to be like down, like, who's the droopy character from Winnie the Pooh? Is it Eeyore or whatever? Like, yeah, you want them just like that all the time. You didn't think you were going to get some Winnie the Pooh thrown at you this morning, but here it is.
I'm big Pooh guy. Big
yeah, Pooh Bear. Big Pooh Bear guy here. But I think when I hear a guy like that say stuff, I know immediately what the response from some is going to be now, but I'm like, good for him. Like you're inside those walls. Dwayne McDougall is partly here because he knows the system, but also you want guys like that who is feeding that group, like, this thing works, guys. Like, I've seen it. We got to just keep going day by day. Details. You mentioned the mechanical process of it all. You can never lose sight of that. That's always got to be sort of your MO each day when you wake up. It's still 5 months of the season, so you can't get caught up in all this stuff. But I do think it does benefit a team now that you have these guys like Quasi Gilmore, who will have a different, insights, and Jasir Whittington is a treat to talk to. Like, he's a guy who, none of what has happened in Nebraska before is on his shoulders. He just thinks he's ready to go win one-on-ones, and so that can help now that you do have that mix of guys who they don't wear everything that happened yesterday in this program.
I got another question, because these again, guys, it's POOH. Knock it off. POOH.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who doesn't know that?
Apparently our the stream, because I'll be doing that for the next 2 years. Not that fixated on poo. B, so, how important do you think it is? Like, where are you on the whole the outward? Like, I know you're not a pound of flesh guy, but I think internally versus external, there's this thing where we think because somebody says something or they think something and it doesn't turn out to be the way that they wanted, like, it's easy for us to hold them accountable. Where do you come out on guys wanting to hold themselves accountable in terms of correcting maybe things that they created? I always say there's like 3 or 4 things I think Coach Rhule would take back. Mm-hmm. He's not going to probably admit them or say them out loud, like unsolicited, but I do think if he was pressed on it, he would have an open dialogue about it. How important is that from a growth standpoint for this team? Do you think understanding or being self-aware is in the total picture for this team? Like, just being self-aware enough to know where you need to be.
Yeah. I mean, this goes back to, I think, the previous questions. It's taking what's happened and understanding. It's like everything we do in our jobs or whatever you're called to do each day. Like, there's stuff, from last week I wish I would have done differently, or there's stuff from games last season that guys know wasn't up to snuff or up to their standard probably. You're always, I think you're taking that and you're just trying to learn from it. But I think it's important, though, that as long as you have a team with the mindset, like, we're not stuck in the same story just because this happened in this game in Happy Valley, for example. Like, that's what happened then. There's new guys on this team now at some key positions. It's a different look at, a lot of spots that are pretty important. And then you've got guys who have been around the program who hopefully, they've grown from the lessons that they've gained as a college football player last year, before that, and they're going to do it a little bit better this year. And that, as long as you just don't buy into this idea, and this is sort of a narrative that is in the winds here right now, that I feel like you're just kind of stuck. It's stuck. It is where it is, and that's what it's going to be. And I don't know if they're going to get better or not. I'm not here to guarantee they're going to win 8 games or something like that. But I know that guys over there can't have that mindset that you're just stuck in neutral or anything like that. And also, I think, as fans and media, we have examples of teams right around here that people have said this about in recent years, and they showed that you don't have to be stuck in place. You can sort of recalibrate or shift this or tweak that, and you can find different results. And so that there's always that possibility. So that's where I'm at. Like, it's not like I'm overflowing with Kool-Aid or optimism about what's going to be. I don't know this fall, but I'm also not going to be closed-minded that they can't fix some things and be better than some people expect them to be, and get over some of the hills they've been trying to climb up. I think that's totally possible too.
I just keep going back to this idea of, what if McDougal had come out here and just be like, I don't know, guys, it's rough out there.
So
yeah, exactly.
The only reason I give pushback to that is I do understand, depending on like the question being asked specifically, I do understand not saying anything.
Sure.
Right? Like that's an option too. So I mean, that has to be on the table.
Yeah, I mean that sure, but also I sometimes think I love that people pay so close of attention to the press conferences and they still read stories even though they say they don't about Husker football, or they're tuning it all out this offseason. They still pay attention to it. But sometimes I think like a young guy who's 21 years old or 22 says something and maybe it doesn't come off just exactly like you would say it if you had a day to think about it, and people like analyze it to death. It's like it's not worth the time. But I just like on the surface, here's a player who has been around the guy who's running the defense now, and has seen success, has seen how it works, and he feels really positive about what they can do. Now, of course, he hasn't played in the Big Ten, and how's it going to fit against the teams they play? All that has to be answered. But you want those type of mindsets, I think, over there going through all the drills together and being in the weight room than the other way for sure. And so I'm just saying, like, when people knock a guy for being hopeful or optimistic about what can be, it's like, what kind of competitor would you be if you were the other way?
On a off topic, but still sports, are you encouraged by Taj Bradley or just an off night for Scooble?
I got to be honest, Damon. I've paid so little. I know Taj has pitched well. That's about what I know about the Twins. I know we are 5-6, and I say we. I shouldn't even say we because I have not been with the boys at all this year. Like I've watched like a total of probably, I bet 25 to 30 pitches of this season is what I've seen, and I just went into it so down on Twins baseball and sort of like there's a lot of hope right now. So I'm kind of being the opposite of what I've said with the Huskers. Like I'm sure Taj Bradley, like in the Twins clubhouse, is like, boys, we can win 88 games this year. Like, you know, like he's got that sort of mindset. Like you haven't seen my best stuff and you're about to see it this season. So hopefully those guys have that optimism, because I'm actually like some Husker fans are about the Huskers with the Twins right now. But I think there's more reason to be that way about the Twins and the Huskers if we're fair about it.
Speaking of baseball, but back to the Nebraska side of things, are you any level of concern with the loss to Kansas last night, or it's like, hey, it's baseball, it's going to happen?
I always lean on Bruns for answers that are worth value when it comes to baseball with the Huskers, because he knows that team inside and out. I'm not overly worried because I know Kansas has been a solid squad this year, and midweek games across the country, that's the one thing I am aware of in college baseball have been rough. Like, yeah. So the Nebraska's actually done much better, in that area this season than the past. So I'm actually kind of optimistic about it. So yeah, it's tough to lose one, but look at their streak recently. You just got to get back on the horse. This is a big series ahead. And if you could go out there and play your best baseball and your best arms deliver, you could send a real message and really help yourself with the postseason stuff. So I think they probably wipe that one away pretty quickly, knowing what's ahead this weekend.
BC, speaking of this weekend, you're a huge golf guy. Is this your favorite of the majors?
Yeah, it is without question. Now, it'll always get to other majors during the year where I'll try to convince myself on like Friday morning of that major that's my favorite. Like when the British Open is going on, I'll try to I was like, this is the best one because I can watch it while I'm just working in the morning. And there are some perks to it, to like the British Open. But yeah, the Masters is clearly above the rest. I picked
Shane is looking. Oh, go ahead. I was going to say Shane is looking for some golfers to pick in our pool. Would you like to help him out?
Well, I'm not saying I'm a fan. I have this Bryson feeling this week for some reason.
Really? You're in on DeChambeau.
I just have that. There's not a lot of reason to back it up other than like it feels like sometimes a guy has sort of been in the hunt. And maybe people are like, he's not just coming in sizzling right now. I don't think this is his year. And then it is his year. So that's sort of where I take that from. It's just sort of a gut pull on that one. If you want like a sneaky pick, I'd say like Tommy Fleetwood. Who I could see.
I've taken that mate once before.
Yeah. That definitely. You can go for that if you've gone for that cheese in the past. You always get your hands stung. But Fleetwood is like I guess it's a sneaky pick. It's not like he's way down on the money list on odds. But after that, it's the regulars. I think there's 10 to 12. I think Oberg could be a lead guy. Wouldn't be shocked if he won it.
There you go.
Can I interest you in do you have a sentimental long shot? Like, are you like a Dustin Johnson guy? He typically can get you 2-3 good rounds here. Or, do you have a sentimental long shot?
I think Jordan Spieth is in that category by now, right? Like the way it's been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's about one going in.
Spieth is going to get some run this week. I guarantee you.
I like Spiethy because I like how he talks to his golf ball a lot during the round, and just like the emotions are up and down. That's probably why he's not going to win too. But he's also like, if there's a guy who is not, you shouldn't relate to him at all because his game is a 1,000 times better than yours, but you kind of try to. It's probably Spieth because he'll get himself in so much trouble. And then he'll sometimes kind of work out of it where you're like, oh, that was amazing, But Spieth would be it. I would love to see Jordan Spieth like emerge for like one more season where he sort of wins a major or two and has us buzzing a bit.
Just because I'm a huge Waffle House guy, I cheer for Bubba Watson. Like I just to be able to put that jacket on once and have him just talk reckless about how he just had like 18 fried pork chops and a couple of old fashions before he like shot shaped the thing about 85 degrees would nothing like a Bubba Watson interview.
Wasn't Bubba Watson? Didn't he have the Masters dinner menu after he won where it was just like a chicken breast?
Yeah.
Mac and cheese.
Here. Did you see that menu? It's like 20 courses. I don't even go back.
That doesn't surprise me.
Austin or Rico, see if you can find Rory's Masters dinner menu. BC the budget. Is it apparently it's unlimited.
He can handle it. Yeah.
It's like 7 courses.
It's just as a proper dinner.
That's what you get.
Go look at Bubba's dinner menu though. It's like he got some chicken breast get the chicken breast from Hy-Vee, he told the guys, and just like the canned green beans will do. It was something sort of like that. It felt, make sure there's a side of cornbread for each person. But it was very simple, and I kind of appreciated it.
It is a Caesar salad, grilled chicken breast, and confetti cake. That's it.
Yeah. It says not showing off, not falling behind, right in that meaty part of the curve.
The chicken breast was served with green beans, corn, mashed potatoes, and mac and cheese.
That is mildly awful.
Yeah, that's like what I ate last night.
That's just
dinner at the old Christopherson household.
Yeah, same as a Bubba Watson championship meal from Mr. Bubba Watson.
Big confetti cake guy.
I'd eat it. You put it in front of me. Is that that's Rory's menu you got up on
look at this menu.
Oh, what do we got here? All right.
Peach and ricotta flatbread, bacon wrapped dates, grilled elk sliders.
Ooh, rock shrimp tempura. That sounds good.
Elk is good.
Okay. Foie gras, toasted baguettes and chives with his yellowfin tuna. The other choice of your Wagyu filet or seared salmon. Like, look at this dude's budget. This is crazy. Sticky toffee pudding. Sounds good.
isn't half the battle just having someone who can describe it in sort of a way that makes it more than it is? Maybe that's probably a big part of it. But
listen, if you're putting elk on sliders, your budget is not your own. That's somebody else.
It's not the whole elk. It's just a piece of the elk.
I'm going to be honest. I think this is within Rory's budget. Yeah, I think it's fine.
I mean, isn't this crazy?
It looks like a good dinner to me.
If you want to kill just like a 20 minutes, that would be fine listening tomorrow. You could just go through like the last 10 to 15 Masters dinners and sort of rank them. And I would be into it.
I think we also need to put together our own Masters dinners menu.
Oh, I have a couple.
I feel like DB's would look a lot more like Bubba's than it would Rory's.
I don't know.
It's not gonna look like Rory's.
There's gonna be lamb and scallops. I mean,
you bristled up at the foie gras. I don't know, man.
BC, what's your go-to protein?
It's like Chick-fil-A.
Oh God.
I mean that sandwich. Yes, seriously, it's not good right now. I when we were in Oklahoma City, I was with Bronson. We were out the night between games, and I caught a side profile, and I'm kind of a skinny guy, but I'm not anymore. There's a skinny gut that is not in good shape, and that's because I just like switch fast food places like every night, and so things are going to change around here starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow.
All right,
yeah,
so
not today.
your go-to, right? If you're on Shane's income and you could just eat whatever protein you wanted, are you going chicken, fish, steak, like beef?
I'd eat steak all the freaking time.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the go-to.
Mm.
All right,
Yeah.
buddy. I'm going to keep that in mind when we celebrate your greatness.
Okay. At your champions broadcasting dinner,
won't be mine.
Or
probably be yours.
Anniversary of the 96 season or whatever. That's 30 years now. So, man,
I'm old. I know. It's not
it's hard for me too. Like I grew up like I was just a few years behind you, and I was into your teams, as you know. And it's unbelievable to think. Do you ever think like, man, okay, 30 years, when I was like 16 years old, you would think back to like the Jerry Taggy teams, like in the 70, 71. You're like, man, that's so freaking long ago. It felt like when the dinosaurs roam. And now you live in this world where something seemed like it was yesterday. And it was like, it's now 28 years ago that you're recalling this memory. It's why I need to get past my Seinfeld references. It'd be like someone now quoting like or it would be like someone when I was growing up quoting Gunsmoke, like the person should think that's a cool reference, That's the same as me quoting Seinfeld at this point.
I don't know if you know this, BC, but the 90s were still only 10 years ago. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, that would, if you listen to my music, what I tell Alexa to play, you would think that's the case, because it's a lot of alternative 90s that are Alexa knows me better than anybody. I tell my wife, Alexa knows me much better than you. Just listen to how good she is. I give her one song.
Me out. I'm cutting Alexa off. She changes the tone of her responses, and I don't know. We did like the Alexa Plus, and I need the old person back. I'm like, this ain't good.
It's getting a little Terminator-y for you.
Yeah. Hey, just want to let you know that we're going to get precip. I understand that you like precipitation. I'm like,
she must listen to the show.
All right, BC, we'll talk soon.
All right, later.
Thanks, buddy.
That's Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7.
What would be your go-to protein?
Well, I mean, I'd have multiples. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, me too.
I'd have scallops as probably one of my appetizers. I'd probably go with I'd probably go ribeye as my main course appetizer.
It'd be tough for me between ribeye and lamb.
I might do a little surf and turf with put some lobster on there. Although I'll be honest, I've been
overrated.
I've been real into lamb chops lately.
Dude, they're fire.
Lamb chops are real good. Maybe that's one of my get a little the little lamb chop lollipops. Maybe that's a little appetizer.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, see, we'll make up a nice little Masters menu.
Yeah, mine would be closer to Rory's than you think.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Especially if you're not paying for it.
Yeah.
If you're not paying for it, it's a lot like Rory's, I think.
Yeah, man. I'm talking salmon toast points. I'm talking
pork belly. That's a good one. I love pork belly.
Oh, fire.
Yeah, I would do some.
There's a local restaurant who puts theirs on a little tiny bed of cheddar grits.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. I'll throw some cheddar grits on there. I like cheddar grits.
Yeah.
Well, now I need you guys to make up a Masters menu.
Well, we will. We'll do it. Maybe
after I win this draft
tomorrow.
today with Shane and Ravi, and you guys give me my gift card.
So the winner has to make up a dinner.
There's this thing called volume. I'm going to need you to adjust. You're a little echoing.
I'm right here.
Okay, there you are. Hi.
I'm right here.
All right. What would you like to say to me, Sunshine?
So the winner has to make up a dinner now.
We're gonna make up a dinner. So when I win,
I have to make up a dinner.
Yeah, I know what you're having. You have meatloaf and mashed potatoes, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just assumed he was doing like a hungry man meal.
Shane, what's your go-to protein? Ground sirloin?
Chicken.
Chicken sandwich.
What kind of chicken?
What kind of chicken?
Yeah.
Chicken sandwich.
Is that your favorite protein?
Yeah.
All right. So there's a Fuzzy Zeller joke in there somewhere, but
let's take a quick break. We got Andy KENDEIGH coming up next. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Staying on the path of the common bowlers, trying to help them out. Do you have any tips to impress your friends for people like me or those at home?
Yeah, I think if anything, when you just look at the physics of it, if you throw a ball that weighs more or if you can throw the ball faster, those two things are going to help you knock down more pins. But to actually get the ball on the right line, I think the two easiest things to think about are where your hips are lined up to when you're releasing it, and then also where your forearm and elbow are lined up to. And so you're going to want to keep those at the pin in the very front. And if you do that, then hopefully you should hit that front pin.
Yeah, I got word a couple days before that the award was going to happen. I enjoyed the time in Indy. It was great to catch up with some former coaches that we either coached against in the league that are no longer there. Being out there with my family. My daughter drove in from Chicago. She's engaged to somebody that's actually from Indiana, from Batesville, about an hour from Indianapolis. So we had breakfast the next morning with Paige's future mother-in-law and sister-in-law, and it was great. It was fun to catch up with them. I had met her one time. She was at the Purdue game, but this is the first time to spend time, and it's really excited for Paige and in the family she's about to join. And I know this. I'm rambling here, and this is probably boring to everybody, but yeah, it was fun to see them and Sam being there and Charlie. being there. The only one that wasn't was Jack. I think they were in Golden State playing a road game against the Warriors. So yeah, it was special.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Andy KENDEIGH from KETV. AK, what's going on, man? How we doing?
Listen, I'm trying to get this this camera thing set up. You're getting fresh out of bed and the whole bit, and Suits up the ante. When I saw Suits on the show, I was like, "What are you doing, Kevin?" And then he's like, it's a camera. It's a visual medium now. I'm like, oh, my goodness. So he's making me look bad. He's stealing my dinner in Vegas. Stuff like that,
AK, I am here for pushback on the whole visual thing.
Yeah.
I would like, if I didn't think I was going to lose, I would fight you once a week to not be on video.
I have a question for you.
I would. Like, I think it's the most ridiculous thing ever.
I have a question for you.
Let's watch guys talk. That's fun.
In AK, like, I'm not here to sit still. Like, I'm just not. I'm either this guy listening, or I'm this guy. It's like, I'm not the whole, hey, what are your thoughts? I'm here for self-control of my body. Like, I'm not 9. I'm a mover. I can't help it, AK.
Yeah, I get it. That tight cam on you is getting a nice body shot. So that's good.
So, hey, there are times I intentionally am off camera. Like, I'll pull one of these just for for the sake of doing it.
You're just lucky he's not lying down for your interview this time.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
One time, Jess was getting ready to, and this was at the bowl game, and we're in Vegas, and I can't remember what I'm looking at, but we're supposed to be doing our pregame thing, and I literally, this is what I'm doing. I'm looking at the field and the players, and her and Cassie are just looking at me like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, are we ready?" Like, you, AK, you helped birth me. Like, this is what I do, right?
Yeah, right. It's amazing we can keep you to stand still for a minute 30.
Dude, you should see how, like, Thor started it. When he put me on the box because I was really short and I like to move, he's like, "We're just going to have to go wide lens because you're all over the place." I'm like, I resemble that remark.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm out on the video thing, but you look good, AK. You look good.
Well, yeah, the sweatshirt, sweatpants, you got it. The whole bit. Downstairs, my sophomore in high school still in bed. Spring break for her. That's why I took this week off. So as my wife is off for school too. So it's a good week. Good week.
Yeah,
lazy week.
I have seen a lot of Zoe and Micah. I am well aware of it. Great.
Right. And I'm got the gray beard going, and it's nice not having to shave. So I mean,
you know what's interesting? You may not see this with young ladies, but I have gone through almost 1.5 pounds of bacon, and it is Wednesday. I took out another package to thaw this morning. I'm like, yep. I have a young man that's now eating breakfast at home. It like the food just disappears. Go to school. Go eat school. go eat school breakfast.
Go eat your food at school.
Yeah. All right, AK. I suppose we better talk sports.
Yeah.
You know what I think's flying under the
disappears, right? 100%. We had the two college kids home, and
it's no fun. Let me get to so which sport is piquing your interest the most right now? Is it what you think is potentially possible in softball or baseball?
I think.
Oh, he's on delay now. We better now, AK? Nope, we're not better. Ah, bless it. Shane, we might need a mulligan and start over. I think we're having a BC issue.
Since it's closer, I think can you hear me? Yeah, I'm good. I was going to say, You're not good?
I'm good.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I feel like we're behind.
Can you hear me?
Rico's looking at me like, DB, you are so special. Rico, I just want you to know I'm
all right.
Ahead of 77 IQ. I am.
You know he's answering questions from like 30 seconds ago, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right. Just checking.
Want
Let's take him out and put him back.
I want you
in.
guys to know that I'm aware of that as I'm talking to myself.
I'll be honest. There was a second that I wasn't sure that I was like, bud, he's not talking to you right now,
dude. I talk to the man. I talk to things that aren't alive all the time.
Can I ask you a question about being on video?
Yes.
While we work on getting AK back.
Yes.
Do you like getting paid?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Leave the cameras on.
Mr. Bottom Line.
You know all those places like place that maybe we used to be on radio that no longer broadcast anything at all anymore, and other places that are struggling to make money, and a lot of those people don't invest on the visual side of things.
Okay,
so maybe that's something I would just maybe we lock in.
I don't appreciate the pragmatism.
I'm sorry. I know you like the pay. Getting the paycheck is important to you.
Yeah.
It's.
Can I?
I know you like me. I don't think you do this for free.
Could I? No, I don't like anybody that much.
I think we have Andy back.
All right, AK, how are we feeling with our delay?
I'm feeling good. I just blame the camera. If you don't use the camera, maybe the camera doesn't freeze up, if you know what I mean.
We got it. We're right on time. I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Softball or baseball. Got you. I would say softball just because it's closer to the end, right? I mean, they only have what? I'm looking at the schedule, 4 weekends, 4 Big Ten series left before the tournament, the Big Ten tournament, and then the NCAA. I mean, baseball's going to work itself out. Obviously, I think the intriguing thing about baseball is the upcoming series, that this is like go time for them in terms of the competition. But I think what softball's been doing in a sport that usually outside of Lincoln doesn't get the love I think it deserves, it's really getting the love this year, and I think it's just going to build. It's going to get more and more as we get closer to the end.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because I think Omaha, and Coach Hurd, he's sensational. There's no question about that. But they've been riding the softball momentum. It is now, and I was talking to Nate Rohr yesterday, and you see him all the time on the weekends. Very, I thought, thoughtful in weaving to the rising tide lifts all boats with Nebraska's last couple of years, with what Coach Hurd has been able to do at Omaha, the two schools playing one another, like just the balance to showcase just where this state is at the high school softball level.
Yeah, and I think it's been a little bit under valued outside of the footprint in terms of how good the softball is here in the state. And this is why I think what they're doing in Lincoln and what they're doing in Omaha and what they have been doing in Omaha for the last few years, I think is really starting to get the recognition it deserves. Because, I mean, shoot, UNO is what, 24-7 at this point, and they're undefeated in the Summit League. And
a couple of those losses to Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, think about the schedule they've played. And you think that when they pop up the names on when they do the selection show that the ones and perhaps the 2 seeds in those regionals are going to be like, oh boy, Omaha's going to be in our place. Yeah, that's a bad draw. Whoever gets Omaha is a bad draw, right? So I think the softball in the state, I think is taking a step, and it's only going to get, I think, improve as years go on. And this is one of those years, though, when you get those impressionable youngsters watching the game, that this could really change their outlook and go all in on a sport that maybe they weren't in 12 months ago. And I think that's the beauty of this time. You could make the same jump when talking about men's basketball in the state. Like, yes, there's die-hard men's basketball fans in the state, but the run that we just experienced really planted the seeds in some young Husker fans that they want to be, and they dream to be part of that process moving forward. I think that's why the success now will only bring in results later. Now, I know it's not true in all cases, but I think what we've seen in the last month and a half will really start to blossom in the next few years in terms of participation and excellence in the state.
All right, AK, I'm not a big PP Tuck guy. Like, I want to embrace success and go and get it. But how careful would you be about trying to model the success of, like, let's say potentially softball, wrestling, which is now 2 back-to-back top 5 national finishes. We're not uncomfortable talking about replicating that, but basketball, it's like, I don't know, guys, that might have been this might have been our best run. I don't want unrealistic expectations. I mean, because historically, remember, the Sweet 16 has always been that line of demarcation for excellence. Like, are you ready to make that not a standard,
but I mean, like a realistic goal?
Realistic goal.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a realistic goal for Nebraska. It should be a realistic goal for any of the power conference teams, right? Especially in this day and age where you can overhaul your roster in a day or a week or two. You know what I mean? But as long as you know and you have a vision, which I think Fred Hoiberg does have, I think we've seen that vision play out about the guys he wants to have, the type of play he wants to put out there on the floor in terms of style of play, focusing on the portables, which I know, DV, that you're big on. If you can play defense, you can win games, period. Even when the ball's not going in the hoop. So I think you start building there with the template, and I think Fred has that moving forward. That's why I think basketball is likely to continue because of the leadership it has in place. Now, the unknown for Creighton is a little different, just because nobody knows what's going to happen next just because Alan Huss hasn't been the head coach at Creighton. He's been a head coach, of course, and he's basically done a bunch of the head coaching duties, but nobody knows for sure until he is the guy for a full season. So I think that's just kind of the uncertainty when you compare Nebraska and Creighton in that respect. But I'm fully confident that Creighton's going to get the pieces it needs and get back in the mix. I just think that, some years are just goofy years, and this was one of those years for Creighton.
I asked this to Rob. We got into this fascinating discussion about, like, the program, basketball program, and Blue Bloods, and this was on the heels of Dusty May talking about recruiting's never been more clear cut now than ever, and this whole retention versus acquisition if you and a college coach. And I asked him, I said, this may hit real close to home with Creighton, where it was all about retention, even though Coach Mack had success with transfers, where, Coach Huss, and again, we're not sure, but he does have a reputation of, we saw it at High Point. We saw the offseason moves behind the scene. Coach Mack could even admit, he's like, hey, this had a lot of Coach Huss's fingerprints, the NIL. We were able to transition quickly. It may be a little more transient than Creighton has been used to. We should just be cool with that as long as they're winning, right? You think we can flip that mindset overnight?
I think you're going to have to, right? I think that's where everybody's headed. Don't you think? Everybody's going that way. Every roster in basketball is going to get you're going to lose players every year, whether it's key players or not. That's the key. That's the thing. What players are you losing? Yeah, you're going to get back some core guys, no core guys. Or are you Tennessee women's basketball, where you lose your entire roster, which is a different discussion. So
women's basketball is
Listen,
when the school right down the street punts on a women's basketball season.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
Yeah, we'll be there tomorrow on a visit. I am fascinated by what's going on in Ames. Fascinated.
The whole women's basketball, that's a whole different discussion. But yes, but this is the way until they put up some guardrails and some tougher restrictions about transferring. This is what it's going to be like every year. It's just going to get worse and worse, or better and better from the player's perspective, depending on which side you're on. You know what I mean?
They got to have a home, AK.
I agree. How can you plant roots if you're going to be like your third school in 3 years? That's kind of different. But it's if this is your time to make your money, then go make your money. Until they put up the rules to play by or new rules to play by, because it seems like they change the rules every day. But until they make some more stringent restrictions in terms of movement, this is what we're going to get. And, if you're a parent of a player, go get your money. But I also know that, there's a longer game to be played here if you really think you can play at the next level.
What were you going to say about Creighton with regards to my question with Andy?
I don't know. I think it's interesting with the Al Huss part of this, just because I don't, I question whether or not Al Huss's philosophy at High Point is going to be his philosophy at Creighton based on who he has access to coming out of high school, right? Like, you have access to different people coming out of high school at Creighton than you do at High Point. You have access to different people coming out of high school at North Carolina than you do at Creighton, right? So I think that's a big part of this. The other thing is, I think this was a very awkward year for Creighton.
Yeah.
I think most people, if I had to guess, Mac and Huss had a pretty good idea that this was going to be like a one-year deal in terms of the coach and waiting thing. And they're like, hey, we don't really have time to build another new core. Let's try and get some guys in. Let's try and win this year and see how it goes. I don't know if this year is a good example of what we will see moving forward from Creighton or not. It might be, but I don't feel comfortable extrapolating just on that. That's all I was going to say.
Don't you think that Creighton is depending, who knows how much their NIL bank is. I don't know what it's being called these days, but the money they have to pay players, I don't know how much of that is specifically assigned to men's basketball, right? So how much money, and just because you have that money on paper doesn't mean you have the money to go to these players. So, and what, in addition to the money that you get out from the house settlement or what the arrangement there, the 20 million is going to basketball, and how much above and beyond can you get? That's the cloudy thing with all of this. It's not, that's the difference between the pros and the colleges. You don't really know what money you're working with. You don't know if the colleges are all equal. We know they're not, because the budget for Kentucky, Michigan is way different than the budget for us, the Seton Hall, Creighton. You know what I mean? It's just a different deal. So that's why I think that, Ravi, I tend to agree with you that this was kind of like, hey, let's put our chips. Let's get these guys that maybe can bring us to new heights for the 1 year. We'll roll the dice and see what happens. It didn't work out. It didn't work out the way they'd hoped. Ball bounces a different way. Maybe it does earlier in the year, but it just didn't. So now that we transition, what's the vision now with Alan Huss moving forward? I think that's the big question for Creighton fans, is like, Jays fans I know are excited about this new era in terms of Alan Huss leading the program, having one of their own, being on the bench and moving forward with the MAC template. But nobody knows for sure what's going to happen until we're there. And I think that's just kind of the unknown at this point, and we won't know until this fall.
And it's just fascinating, especially with Omaha they're a host site next year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Nebraska and Omaha will be eligible to play there. Obviously, Creighton can't, but man, with
Huskers in Omaha would be huge.
That would be enormous.
I mean, did we see that in OK? I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. Well, there'd be people jumping in the river. I hope not. That's a little more dangerous.
Yeah, you don't want to jump in the Missouri, guys. Don't do that.
You don't do that.
Yeah, there's no way. That's Missouri River much greater than a canal.
Yeah.
Maybe we get out to Rinsky or something. Head out.
There you go.
AK, we appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, boys. Talk to you.
We've got Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball coming up next. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
I'm Kyle Byers with Hurrdat Sports, and today we are at the Sac Museum in Ashland, Nebraska. And last year, the Sac Museum allowed us to come in and film the Omaha Supernovas for their content day. So this year, once Starla arrived, we thought there was no better place to be to film her content day, which is here. So we appreciate the relationship between the Omaha Supernovas, Hurrdat Sports, and the Sac Museum, and we thank them for allowing us to come film Starla's content day here today.
Yeah, we just thought, we thought AJ's a awesome kid. He's an awesome kid. People, if you're not around him a lot, he can be misunderstood. But AJ's an entertainer. He's an entertainer. He wrestles with a lot of energy. He performs with a lot of energy and a lot of passion for the sport. And we loved our time with him, but we just felt that it was time to move on and go a different direction. We have Cade Ziola, who redshirted. We got Harley Enders at heavyweight. We feel really good at the heavyweight position. And then 197, Cam McDaniel has 2 years left. So, we wish AJ the best. And, good kid. And we enjoyed our time with him.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Schmidt, way out to center. Is it another? It is. This time, no solo. 2 runs scored for the Jackets.
Another 3-ball, 2-strike pitch. Swung on and the ball hit well. This one out to left, and you can say goodnight to it. Ethan Mendoza with his career best 8th home run of the season. The Longhorns now lead it 16-4.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Do we have KENDALL ready?
He's here.
We've got Kendall Rogers joining us from
he's always on
D1
time.
Baseball. What's up, Kendall? How we doing?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Kendall, how we doing, bud? We're just hanging in there.
I don't know if being early for something is really what I'm all about.
I get it.
I don't know if my coworkers would consider me early for many things.
Hey, are you a golf guy at all?
I'm not. I live by a golf course and I do not play golf. So I have like for my 40th birthday a couple years ago, I got like a package of 12 or 13 lessons, and I still have them just sitting here on my desk. At some point I've got to use them, right?
Oh, are you? You live by a golf course, so clearly I'm going to assume a high rent district, but you don't golf? You ooze golfing machismo.
I'm still waiting on KP Kyle Peterson to teach me.
Oh, hey, listen.
You talk about a good golfer, man. That guy, he goes out there in sandals over at Happy Hollow.
And he is competitive. So
oh, yeah. You should see him and Chris Burke on the links together, dude. It's a trip.
Oh, who's the better trash talker?
I would say Berkey.
Really? The little guy.
Yeah, KP's kind of the silent assassin.
Who hits it longer, considering Burke's
KP, I would say. Yeah, based on my limited experience, I would say KP. Only with the flip flops on, though. He's got to have the flip flops on. You gotta have him on and ask him about wearing flops on the golf course.
His kid can swing it too. So
that's what I hear. Yeah,
he comes by it. He comes by it honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Kendall, as we, before we hop into some of the local stuff here, last night was a little bit of a bloodbath for some of the ranked teams in their midweek stuff. I mean, obviously, Kansas isn't a bad loss for Nebraska. I don't think they're top 45 RPI or whatever, but like Bethune-Cookman at LSU and there's some, Jackson State. I know Jackson State's a good team, but Jacksonville State over Auburn, James Madison over Virginia. It was a tough one last night for the big boys.
It was, and I think if you look around the country, it's kind of a recurring theme in the midweek. Frankly, I don't know. I mean, I kind of know. I think it's a little bit of NIL. It's a transfer portal, but I mean, you look across the country, and all these teams have talent. I mean, I watched Bethune-Cookman and LSU last night, and there were a couple of players here and there where you're like, yeah, that's a massive step down from what LSU is. But I mean, that team had some legit talent. Like Jonathan Hernandez does a really nice job of that program. So. Yeah, I just think, these midweek games, Santa Barbara beats USC. USC was rolling. All of a sudden, they lost 4 straight. So it's just one of those things, especially when you're in these bigger conferences. Man, it's tough to do, to kind of track your way through the SEC or ACC every weekend. And then, oh, by the way, you got to go get up for James Madison on a Tuesday. It's hard to do. It's like, it's like Nebraska football playing Ohio State and having Michigan in 2 weeks, but you're playing, Northern Illinois in the middle. Sometimes those games get pretty sloppy. And I kind of think that's the way midweek baseball goes at times.
And I know you mentioned NIL here, but I feel like this has been sort of an issue in college baseball forever, basically. Yeah. How much of this has just come down to like nobody has 4 starters that they like?
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of that. And here's why. Because the rosters were trimmed down this year. The rosters, were 40. They're now down in the mid-30s. And so, I'll kind of pinpoint TCU. TCU is a team that we kind of had as a national championship contender coming into the season. They're playing better now, but they lose their Friday guy, Tommy Lepore, Katie Udy, one of their better pitchers have had some injury issues this year, and all of a sudden the whole dynamic of their team changes. So I do think it has a lot to do with that too, and frankly just the roster limits. You cannot afford, whether it's Nebraska, Creighton, etc., to get 2 or 3 injuries to your pitching staff. A&M's another team like that. They lost Josh Stewart, their closer, for the year. They have another long reliever they lost for the year, and they can really hit, but man, they're stretched pretty thin on the mound.
Let me ask you something, Kendall, because I think there's 2 sports, and they're both Olympics. Well, they're not baseball. I'm not going to count it in the Olympic sports. It's one of the 4 majors. But baseball, along with wrestling, I think have been extremely mobile, much, much longer than the NIL period.
Yeah.
They're just 2 sports where from the junior colleges to Division I in baseball, wrestling in the same vein. In 2026, would you prefer to try to find like 3 quarterbacks on a roster or 2 or 3 frontline pitchers? Because for a sport that has been mobile, stashing talent seems to have gotten more difficult in baseball, which seems to be kind of an oxymoron.
Well, it's gotten different because more teams can pay NIL money. So whereas a kid, let's just say a high-end kid at the high school ranks who may not be quite good enough to go to like an LSU, or he would be willing in the past to take a lower percentage LSU. Well, now the dynamics change. Kids think differently from a mental standpoint. And so like a Southern Miss or, Louisiana comes in and says, hey, we'll give you, it could be a small number, but it could be, hey, we'll give you $70,000, $80,000. All LSU's giving you is a full ride. Well, this day and age, whereas it was not the case a decade ago, this day and age, a lot of those kids are going, okay, I'll take the $80K. So I think what's happened is schools have gotten more creative. I think mid-majors have gotten much smarter in the talent acquisition and kind of talent retention department. Whereas, I feel like a couple of years ago, it was like every single good player at the mid-major level or elite player at the mid-major level was going to like the SEC or ACC. Now some of those guys are actually staying put, like Southern Miss, Coastal Carolina. They're prime examples. Cam Fluke, he hasn't pitched a lot this year because of an injury. But I mean, he could have gotten $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 had he gone to the SEC, but they kind of put together a package for him. He stayed at Coastal Carolina. So I think that's why you're looking around the country and you're seeing some crazy results, is because I don't know if you guys have watched LSU this year, but I'll kind of use them as the poster child here. I mean, if you watch their team, like they're talented, but you don't look at LSU this year and go, man, like that, the talent on that team is just unbelievable. I don't think you look at, I don't think you really honestly look at like even a A&M or Arizona State at the bottom of their lineup and go, man, look at the talent in that lineup. And I think that's why.
When you're, I just as kind of a quick follow up, I've always thought, especially in baseball, that there are so many more good players than there are that arrive on the national scene. Do you think some of this is just a product that baseball is just played at such an elite level at number one, younger ages? It's more competitive, but there's just more good players.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids that play baseball. I mean, we're, not to get deep in the weeds on, why or why not you should play sports. I mean, my 12-year-old plays football, but I mean, there are a lot of people these days. I mean, I talk to parents all the time here, even locally, that are a little apprehensive about their kid playing football, but like, hey, if they want to pick up a bat and go play baseball and try to be on a travel ball team, yeah, I'll let them do it. So, I think a lot of kids now are just playing, more kids than ever are playing baseball. And so, obviously, is you have the prep baseball reports and PGs and these other showcases and all these other tournaments. We have a friend of ours here who's his kid's in the select ball. And I mean, it's like a tournament every couple of weekends. And as you well know, reps matter. And when you're playing baseball every other weekend, I mean, eventually, if you have any talent at all, you're going to probably become a pretty good player. So I do think that matters. I think the other thing, too, that's interesting about baseball is the number of kids who are good and you don't even know they're good until they show up on campus. I mean, I always think back, honestly, to like Jabba Chamberlain back in the old days of Big Red Baseball, where like this dude from Winnebago, Nebraska, like, you know what I mean? Like most people were like, where the heck is Winnebago, Nebraska? But he comes up, goes to Nebraska, and becomes a superstar. And like there these days, there's like 300 or 400 of Jabba Chamberlains out there who, they weren't all over the travel ball circuit at PG showcases, but they're really good at baseball.
Interesting.
The Jabba Chamberlain one threw me. I wasn't expecting a Jabba reference today.
I know. How about that? Let's go way back.
Before we get to Nebraska specifically here, I got to ask you, as a
the resident FSU honk. I know it's FSU.
It is FSU. I got to ask you about the Miles Bailey injury and how much that impacts them in terms of, I mean, obviously they took the 4-3 loss to Florida last night, which is not a huge deal, but like long-term impact on what their ceiling is this year with Miles Bailey out for the year. One of the best in the country. I mean,
I tell you what, I don't know what maybe you can tell me. I don't know what's in the water when they play Florida, but it's a different team. Like, every time they play Florida, they can't hit. So yeah, it's just a weird deal. It's just it's just one of those things. But I think with Florida State, whenever they lost Miles Bailey a couple of weeks ago, obviously it was pretty heartbreaking for them. The next day, they get blown out by Duke at home, and you're thinking like, oh boy, like is this the start of kind of a skid? And then they go on the road and they handle Virginia honestly with ease, like 2 of the 3 days. I mean, Bryson Moore threw really well, Trey Beard threw really well. The offense stepped up in a big way. And so now I'm kind of thinking they'll be just fine. And the reason why I think they'll be fine, I'm not saying that they're as good without Miles Bailey. I think that'd be a little foolish at this point. Maybe they are, but I mean, right now it'd be foolish to say. But Lee Jarrett's a pretty good coach. I mean, there's a reason why he's won at an elite level everywhere he's been. He's hit at an elite level. I think he's one of those guys that can craft his offense around an injury like this and be able to sustain it. Hunter Carnes is kind of getting going for them a little bit. Braden Dowd to me is top of mind. He's got big time power potential. He's going to have to hit for more power now with Bailey out of the lineup. But I think they're going to be just fine, especially if they pitch the way they pitched over the last few weeks. If Beard, Mendez, and Moore pitch like that, I mean, they really just need an average offense, and they'll be, better than average for sure, even without Bailey.
Very familiar voice talking all things baseball. Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball joins us. Kendall, I want to be careful here. I mean, no disrespect to Georgia and Texas and Mississippi State, Bama top 10, but on the heels of what happened in basketball, on the heels of what happened in football the last 3 years, there's this narrative, even from SEC folks, about the transitioning of power and what it has meant for the SEC. The top 20 littered with ACC teams, led by the Big Ten team in UCLA. I know that sounds weird. How do you explain some of the shifts, or is it still too premature this season in the SEC? But how are we explaining the shifts of what's happened in Power Conference baseball?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is, obviously realignment plays a pretty big part. If you look at the Big Ten right now, Oregon's pretty good. USC is obviously pretty good. UCLA obviously is beyond pretty good. So I think that's I think that's helped some leagues. The Big 12 is prime example for me. The Big 12 is really deep this year. And yeah, they lost Texas and OU, but it's not like Arizona State and Arizona or chopped liver
West
in terms
Virginia,
of
Arizona State.
those are all programs that have been pretty good. And so UCF has always had the potential, especially when you look at the location there in Orlando. So I think the biggest thing for me is, realignment has allowed some of these conferences who lose teams to kind of accumulate as good or better teams. I think in the Big Ten's case, I think what has happened is, Nebraska's always cared a lot about baseball. But other than that, in that league, teams have just been like, oh, baseball, it's fine. We're not going to put a ton of money into it. But what happens is that when UCLA is 15-0, when USC in conference, when USC is 27-7, when Oregon, has been in super regionals over the last couple of years, when you're the Big Ten and you're winning in football and basketball at the level you are, what happens? You go, well, heck, if we're winning in football and basketball at this level, and UCLA, USC, and Oregon are really good, and Nebraska's good, like, why shouldn't the rest of the league step up? So I think it's almost like a trickle-down effect to where it's like, if they can do it, we can do it.
Interesting. How do I explain Michigan, who was just nationally relevant 5 years ago?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Michigan is I thought they were in a really good spot with Eric Bakich, but he took that Clemson job, and that kind of derailed him a little bit. And so that's the next thing for the Big Ten is when these teams do really well, find a way to keep them in that league, because the Big Ten salaries in college baseball for head coaches is still, it's still pretty low. I would say it's easily the lowest of all the power conferences. So that'll be the next step. Is this, we talked about talent retention earlier. Coaching retention, I think, is incredibly important for this league moving forward. But there's no doubt the Big Ten is trending in a very positive direction from a baseball perspective.
So obviously the strength or improving strength of the league is going to help out a little bit with this next question. But what realistically does Nebraska need to do in your mind to have that hosting conversation be where they want it to be?
The next 2 weekends will tell us pretty much everything. They go to Oregon. They have a USC at home. That's RPI's 34-10. If you can take 2 or 3 from Oregon on the road, you're probably, right now you're at 33. You're probably at 25, 24. If you take 2 or 3 in that series, and, oh, by the way, you come home and face the number 10 RPI team. So really, I know I hate to put too much into 2 series, but if you look at the remaining RPIs on the weekend, if you lose these 2 series, you're out. I just don't see the pathway there. If you split them, I think down the stretch, you're really going to take care of business. You're going to have to sweep a Minnesota or something who has a 119 RPI. So win both these series, man, they're looking at really good shape. Lose one of them, you got some work to do. Lose both of them, I do not see the pathway, because at that point your RPI is probably 45, and in the Big Ten, frankly in the SEC too, if your RPI is 45 in late May, you're not hosting.
Let me ask you, stay close to home on a multitude of reasons, but B.O. O'Connor, obviously kind of the surprise surprise off-season move, paying immediate dividends over there at the Duty. Tremendous facility, their top 10. Have they seen the BOC bump, or was this kind of expected for what Mississippi State's the mirror was projecting in 2026?
Yeah, I think had they not gone in the portal and gotten some guys or brought some guys with him from Virginia, I think the landscape would be a little different. But if you look at what they've done so far this year, obviously everybody knows about Ace Reese, but they had Ryder Woodson. Tomas Valencias, was the Saturday starter for Virginia last year. He's been unhittable in that Friday/Saturday role.
Literally.
Yeah, I mean, he's been great. I think in the SEC, I think teams were hitting him like a 160, 150 clip, which is unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, you add some of those transfers in there, and that obviously has helped them be the team that they are. So yeah, I mean, O'Connor's a great coach, but I mean, he's also got a lot of talent. So I would say, had he not been there and they had a roster without Valencius and maybe Aiden Teal, I would say probably 20 to 25 type of team. But instead, I think they're one of the top 5 national championship contenders in the country. I know they got swept last week by Georgia, but I think they're a really good team. They still don't even have Ryan McPherson back, who's their Friday ace.
Yeah, let me. I'm gonna go to the coast because it seems like the last 4 or 5 years, I always ask you about what's happening with the coast, and we talk about fiscal and where the money is. But you know, there's UCLA, Oregon State is back, Southern Cal. Is back on a coast, and I get the Dax Whitney thing and kind of that staff, but I want to stay with Oregon State just for a second. How is the program doing it without real strong conference affiliation, kind of out there in no man's land? They've been able to sustain, right?
Yeah.
How?
Because they really care about baseball. I mean, if you look at Oregon State, they stink in basketball. They stink in football. And so if you're stinking football and basketball, where are you going to put your money? You're going to put your money into a sport like baseball where you know you have national cachet. Oregon State is really a program at this point that I feel like stands alone in the sense that, you know, Mitch Canham, especially in the Pacific Northwest or in California, or frankly, I would even argue like Texas and the Midwest or like the Heartland. If you go out there and you, especially, I mean, even kids in the Omaha area, if you're Oregon State and you recruit those kids, they know exactly who Oregon State is. They consider Oregon State kind of an LSU type of program. They've got that kind of cachet with recruits. And so I think Oregon State has a unique opportunity where it is a big-time school where baseball is by far the most important sport. Like, I really think Oregon State fans would rather be really good in baseball than really good in football. Kind of like Mississippi State fans. I think Mississippi State fans would rather be.
We talk about them every year.
Yeah.
It's like, they spin the football team's always a crapshoot. The baseball team almost never is.
Yeah, Oregon State football always cracks me up because they always have like one random dude that you're like, who the heck is this guy? You know, like, but like Mississippi State, I think is a good comp because I don't think Mississippi State cares more about baseball than football in the SEC, but I think they 100% care more about baseball than basketball.
So, and I know
not even close.
I want to stay with, and this isn't just to blow your guys' horn because with the great staff we've known over there, but I mentioned Whitney. You guys had him. He's first team All-America as a freshman. You guys had him on, I think, second or third team last year All-America. Yeah. Is finding him out of like Idaho, is that like a random example of kind of their commitment? Because to my point earlier about good baseball players being everywhere, just the willingness to find guys that fit your program.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, it kind of goes back to the conversation we were having earlier where there's good players everywhere. And so it could be one of those things. I mean, I'll bring up a really good example for you that's kind of, it allows me to kind of show what I mean by the Whitney thing is, you know, I was talking to Caleb Longley, who was the former recruiting coordinator at A&M. He stepped away this past summer to go back into pro ball. And we were talking about this kid named Jorian Wilson for them right now. I mean, he's like an Adonis. The dude's like 6'4", 225. He's like a quarterback and linebacker in high school. He's an elite runner, like literally like a 75 power grade. And I was, you know, when I was there in the fall at A&M, I was like, man, who the heck is this guy? Like, I mean, look, you know, he literally checks every prospect box. So they were saying that he was a kid who didn't, you know, at the time, like didn't have the money to go out and, you know, go to 18 travel ball showcases. Well, they went and watched him at some, you know, random invite showcase and then offered him on the spot. So it just, you know, I'm not saying Whitney was like that, but man, there's just so many of those kids everywhere where, you know, like if you're willing to look hard enough, you'll find them. And I think that's probably the case to some degree with the Whitneys and guys like that of the world.
Let me ask you, who's the best team for your money in the ACC? I know it's thick at the top, but if you had to play the long game right now,
yeah,
SC or not SC, Georgia Tech, my Chapel Hill folks in Carolina. Who's the best bang for the buck in the ACC?
I tell you what, it's going to be like, well, of course you're going to pick them because they're number 3 in the country. But I may be jaded again, but I mean, I really like Georgia Tech, and they've got the best offense in college baseball. I think obviously for legitimate reasons, there was a lot of question marks about the pitching staff coming this season. But I mean, honestly, if you look at their rotation, Jackson Blakely has been really good in conference play. Tate McKee has been really good in ACC play. I think both those guys, I think, have like 220, 230 opponent batting averages in conference play. So both those guys have been really good, and they've got enough pitching. And again, they're one of those teams that they literally just have to be like below average on the mound, and they're still going to win 50 games. So I would say Georgia Tech for me, and the second team for me, just because I do have long-term concerns with the Bailey injury. Especially late in the season, we get in the NCAA tournament. But I do like Carolina. I mean, I still love the fact they have Jason DeCaro at the front of the rotation.
Yeah, they get guys out.
Yeah, I mean, they've got experience on the mound, and I think they have enough offense. Owen Hull has been really good for them this year. So I would say Georgia Tech and Carolina would be the 2 top teams for me out of that league.
They make me mad because they're continuing to spend money, and I'm seeing it in football, and they go get one of the best big men in the country, and Floyd Badunga from Kansas in basketball. Texas Tech spends. For your money, is there a better tandem in baseball than Farrar and Rusnecki?
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that that they would be that guy. I mean, I think if you look at what they've done this year specifically, kind of offensively and then on the mound, it's been pretty impressive. So yeah, I would say that's fair to suggest. Is there
who's flying under the radar in your opinion? It can't be a guy like Tokheim, I think, at Stanford, but who's flying under the radar for you in a power conference? It's one of the better players in the country we don't talk enough about.
Ooh, that's a great question.
Do you like D. Kennedy?
Yeah, I like him a lot. That's a great call, by the way. Yeah, I like him a lot. What's really been interesting about D is, he's gotten so much better offensively over the last couple of years. But the other thing about him that's been interesting is, his defensive evolution. It's a guy that, a year and a half ago, you wouldn't have envisioned being a shortstop. Now he's actually a pretty good shortstop. So, like, he would fit that equation. I think if you look, like Georgia, I really like some of the pieces at the back in the bullpen. The day I was there, I saw them against A&M a couple of weeks ago. Justin Bird is really good. I think if you look at, a Texas, like I think Casey Borba is a dude that flies under the radar quite a bit. But if you go look at what
Mac Moyer?
Do what now?
Have you seen much of Mac Moyer from Nebraska?
Just a little bit. I mean, yeah, he's another guy that, has certainly had a really good year as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of those guys this year where, coming into the season, you wouldn't have said much about them, but man, now you do.
Last one for me, Kendall. For your money, best pitching staff in the country.
I will go with Texas. It is a young staff on the back end of that bullpen with Sam Kozar, Brett Crossland, and guys like that. But man, that rotation with Rigor Riojas, Luke Harrison, and to come back, it's like demoralizing to come back on a Sunday against a team and then they have to face Dylan Volantis. So I can't even imagine like, we split the first 2 games. Oh, great. We get to face Dylan Volantis, who was, the top freshman in college baseball last year. So I would say those guys for me, even though they have a little bit of youth at the back end.
All right. Just because it's a little bit of foreshadowing for Nebraska baseball fans, who will they be more impressed by on the bump, Mason Edwards or Will Sanford?
I will probably go with Edwards just based on the season he's had, but Sanford's really interesting. I kind of wrote a little bit about him a couple weeks ago, but it's a really good breaking ball and it's a fastball up to 94, 95, and those guys do a really nice job. They lost Grayson Grenzel, who's their Friday guy last year. They lost him to the draft, and they penciled in Sanford, and he's done a really good job for them. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of Grenzel, but with a little bit more velocity.
So if you're banking on Edwards, you mentioned the series with Ravi about how they have to play against Southern Cal and Oregon, the 2 aforementioned pitchers, and Edwards and Sanford respectively. Is there a more telling series for you? I get SC's
Oregon.
Okay.
It'd be Oregon because I think fans are going to go back and look at last weekend at Michigan and for Oregon and go, oh man, they didn't really hit. But tell you what, in Eugene, they really hit. They're a very physical lineup. And to me, USC can be had just because I just don't think USC is very offensive. Oregon, on the other hand, I think can pitch a little bit. And especially at home, they have an elite offense. So I would say Oregon, for me, will be a lot more telling.
That is Kendall Rogers, our guy from D1 Baseball. Kendall, appreciate the time.
You got it, fellas. We'll chat soon.
You
See
got
you,
it,
DB. Later, buddy. Bye.
That is Kendall Rogers.
I got my fix.
We'll take a quick break here, a real quick one, Shane, and then we'll come back and make our Masters picks before we get to Ryan Edwards, so we can talk about your new basketball coach.
We're gonna have to get the pieces of paper for the balls.
For the what?
How we serpentine the picks. Who picks first?
I think Rico's just going to pick a number behind his back.
I forgot. We have somebody now that it used to be just us.
I know. It was just the three of us.
Now we got the fourth amigo.
Rico can help us out.
You ready for that, buddy? No pressure.
Thanks, Rico.
Don't be picking any dumb numbers over there.
I'm thinking of a number 1 to 1,575.
You're going to have to write it down. I don't trust him. He's like, I hate that DB guy. He's picking my ass.
We'll be right back and pick our Masters winners after the break.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. Don't forget, give our friends over at Next Gen Mail Medical a call, 402-614-9700. I'll be heading over there today because you know what? They introduced me to my friend Sarah Moreland. But now they're about to introduce me to her cousin, Tessa Moreland, which is a little bit different, still peptide.
How's Tessa different from Sarah?
Might be a little bit more potent, might help with some of the, might help complement some of the weight loss I'm trying to do here. So trying to get that going, and we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you posted.
You know, like I'm always curious. I don't want you to be.
You just don't want me to have anything you don't have.
Yeah, but that isn't really my focus, so I don't know if I want to really dabble in
I know, yeah. So they're helping me out. They're specifically trying to help me out here. So I was like, hey, I feel like I've plateaued on my weight loss a little bit. What can we do? And they're like, we got you. Meet Tessa.
I just want Sarah to help knock me out.
Give them a call, 402-614-9700. All right, we do have some.
Can they help me with my picks?
They cannot. We do have some breaking news. Berke Buchtengel is in the transfer portal. But we're still going to do our Masters picks because otherwise we won't get to them. So,
hey, I'm just saying, like, guys, don't let the Berke referendum be an indictment on what you think Nebraska has to spend. Remember, we were
5th of December.
We were very critical of how much money he was making early on. So what's important in these situations is this a good investment on what we're paying for, given what else is out there?
Yeah.
Okay. So just keep that in mind. Jack Daniels can help with that. Haas, I can't. I like Jack's not a good friend.
No.
And I typically root for the brown people, but not the brown liqueur. That was going to go someplace I didn't want it to. I had to reel that back in, but I feel comfortable with Haas, and he almost got me to go there. I can't do nope. I'm off of that too, A-Train. Nope.
He doesn't do any
What's
brown.
wrong with you people?
He doesn't do any brown alcohols.
Did A-Train say yesterday in the Discord, like no wife, no kids?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think that was A-Train, and it makes perfectly good sense that he's certifiable. he basically has no adult responsibilities.
That sounds terrific. Part of the reason I don't have kids, I have very little adult responsibilities.
Yeah, but can you imagine you without Natalia, aka Natasha?
Oh yeah, I'd be wild.
A fool. Explains. Oh, it was. So it wasn't A-Train. Who was it?
I don't remember. I'd have to check. I don't know.
It was in the lines of the diesel conversation. It was in that little portion.
That might have been Dank.
Oh, that does sound like Dank. I mean, come to think of it,
it might have been Dank.
We have our guest, by the way.
That dude is foolish.
Oh, I guess we're okay. We're going to go a little early here. So we'll do the Masters picks right after. But joining us now is Ryan Edwards. He's the sports talk show host on KOA Colorado. Ryan, we appreciate you joining us. I've got a resident UNC honk next to me here.
And we share Dave Tepper. So
yeah, we all love Dave. But we need to get the inside scoop on how in the hell Mike Malone became the head coach of North Carolina basketball.
No, it's Michael. Get it right.
Oh, sorry, Michael Malone. Listen, he's not here. It's fine.
And listen, no pressure either, Ryan, because Tepper knows he's probably taught me more than anybody in this whole deal. And he gets my mindset. So when he sends a message and he says he's sharp, he knows his stuff, you'll like him. That's code for he's as nerdy and kind of geeked out about the nuances of sports as you are, Damon. So no pressure there, Ryan. No pressure at all.
Well, I can't say enough nice things about Dave Tepper. Certainly been one of the biggest influences on my career as well. So we share that in common. And yeah, you better come correct. You got to call him Michael. He will correct you immediately. But if you call him Mike, he's going to embarrass you on TV. So that's a big thing with him. Michael Malone was great for the Nuggets. I'm not a huge fan of the way it ended. I thought he sabotaged the team on his way out in the process of Calvin Booth trying to build up a team that could compete in the modern NBA with the aprons. But there's no denying the fact that he knows how to push the right buttons. They don't win a championship if he isn't motivating the guys in the correct way. Now, again, at the end of his tenure with the Nuggets, I'd say that some of the players that kind of checked out, there's only so many times you can push that nuclear button of the guys got to play better. They quit, they didn't play well enough tonight. They're not playing well enough on defense. You can't call out guys publicly with the media and continue to do that and expect them to follow you into battle all the time. So I think he pressed that button just too many times. But in the end, Michael Malone did a great job. He brought the first championship in the history of the Nuggets franchise to the city. So he'll always be popular because of that, but it was time to move on, and certainly I wish him best at UNC.
Let me ask you something. How clear was it that you have kind of drawn that line between the side you were taking between a front office a general manager in Booth over a coach in Malone?
Yeah, well, for me, it's just working within the constructs of what the NBA is now. Right? It's knowing, hey, well, if we get into the second apron of this thing, we're going to have limitations of roster building. We're going to have limitations in the draft. And so for what Calvin Booth was trying to do is, hey, we got to draft, we got to develop, we have our max contract players. Those guys aren't going anywhere, but we're going to have to play these guys, some of these bench players. And then that's not only because of what the NBA is, it's also going into the postseason and not burning out your stars. Like overwhelmingly, we saw over the last couple of years before Michael Malone was dismissed, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon especially, they were all coming in with just on empty on their gas tank when it came to the postseason. You get to the first round of the playoffs, and those guys are dragging a bit. And that's because Michael Malone did not want to play his bench players. He did not want to play his rotational players, which, again, to a certain extent, I understand when you're a head coach, you want to win games right now, but you got to think big picture, and you got to think about, saving some of these guys for those opportunities late, and he just wouldn't do it. So Calvin Booth, there was this internal skirmish, right, where Calvin Booth saying, I'm drafting these players. Peyton Watson, who ends up being a pretty good player for this team. Julian Strother's another guy that's been a pretty decent rotational guy for him. I'm drafting these players. We need to find a way to get them in rotation, and Michael Malone balked at that. And as a result, the Nuggets had many early exits, and honestly, I blame him in part.
All right. So how closely connected should I think about the success of Coach Malone and his capabilities and a guy like Ben Alamar, who was so integral in like the analytics portion of their growth?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'd say that with Michael Malone, he is a little bit more the old school, coach, right? The more motivator. And I do think that is actually going to resonate even with some of the younger guys there at UNC. I think there's a reason why, that style of coaching, if it's just telling you the truth, right? And I know that we live in an NIL era where a lot of players really want to be, they want to be courted, to put it a way, right? You want to be, brought in and felt like you belong. I do think that there's some guys that are going to respond. The right kinds of players are going to respond to him and his motivational tactics. And so I actually, there's a lot of people wondering if he's a good fit for UNC. I think he's a good coach, and I think that he's going to be able to find a way to push the right buttons there. But yeah, I mean, listen, the use of analytics, it's prevalent in everything that almost everybody does now within the NBA. But it certainly felt like, especially there with the Nuggets at times, he more shot from the hip, and sometimes it worked for him and sometimes it didn't.
My partner had a fantastic thought off air about building rosters in the construct of how you felt schools would move.
Yeah.
Can you go ahead?
I'll try and make it as quick as possible. I'm wondering, because you see, I dug up this little factoid last week that only 3 teams since freshmen had become eligible have ever won a national championship with a freshman leading scorer. And you look at the way a lot of the blue blood programs try and build. Duke has famously had some burnouts with really, really good rosters. Kentucky, really good rosters, had some burnouts. Lots of other programs, but those are the 2 most prominent that do it all the time. And so I'm wondering if there is a shift kind of to what you're talking about, of finding the right player, a type of guy that Michael Malone can coach, and that kind of identifies with how Michael Malone coaches. And I'm curious what that looks like and how quickly he'll be able to find that in the college game, where
more like a UConn model than a Duke model,
or like an old Villanova model with Jay Wright, where hey, we're gonna get the best guys that are gonna be here for 3 years, as opposed to we're gonna get guys that are gonna get drafted in the lottery 6 months from now. And is that a model you think could work for Michael Malone based on what you know about his personality, and B, I know you're not necessarily a North Carolina expert, but for a team that always is comparing itself to Duke, do you think people could stomach that?
I absolutely do, because in the end, it's about winning, right? And UConn has shown that model can work. Michigan starting 5 new transfers this last year. Now, you win a championship, and I'm sure some people are going to look at that and try to mimic it, right? We're always trying to chase the next fad. But at the same time, there's a sustainability to it. And again, I do think his name will bring in some talent. Again, you got to find ways to win, and certainly those matchups against Duke are some of the most important over the course of the season. But yeah, I'd say that there is something to that, and again, there's a personality fit that definitely needs to be part of this when it comes to people that they're going to try to bring in. But in that respect, I'm fascinated to see how malleable he's going to be, right? Because he kind of was a my way or the highway guy there at the tail end of his tenure with the Nuggets. And was that as a result of not getting along with the GM? Yeah, I mean, I think that is part of it. You get a little full of yourself maybe because you won a championship, the first in franchise history in 48 years. Yeah, you get pretty into it on yourself. But this is a new frontier for him. Not a lot of experience, obviously, no experience as a head coach in college. So I'm fascinated to see how malleable he is, but the focus has got to be almost immediately on the personalities and the fit in the locker room, I think, is going to be first and foremost. And I think he's going to try to build this thing in a way that has some sustainability to it, because that's what UNC basketball is.
Talking all things Michael Malone, a little bit of nuggets, a little bit of basketball insight, a whole lot of info from KOA in Colorado, in Denver, Ryan Edwards. Ryan, let me ask you about over or understated, where you see like this shift. We saw it with Illinois. We've seen it for years with Gonzaga. It was brought over to Arizona from Coach Lloyd. Everybody, we're seeing it in Olympic sports like wrestling. Everybody wants to talk international. How do we recruit internationally to get older and more mature? Over or understated Coach Malone's prowess that he has connections overseas when it comes to evaluations?
That's going to be a fascinating thing to see. I mean, he spent a lot of time around Tim Connolly here, who helped obviously recruit Nikola Jokic over here as a second round. I mean, not recruit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, draft him in the second round.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I remember talking to Tim Connolly shortly after that draft, and he was just going on and on about, man, we scouted this guy. We think he's going to be a superstar. And, oftentimes, again, GMs talking up their players is really that big of a surprise. But, I mean, obviously he turned out to be quite right about Nikola Jokic. But I think being around Tim Connolly during that time, it probably, I mean, it almost has to, right, through osmosis, if you will, help you build up a little bit of foundation for that. You're right. It's a frontier that probably doesn't get talked about enough. But you're thinking about for Michael Malone as you're trying to build this thing, and to know that your best player, the best player you're ever going to coach in your entire history. I mean, and I'm not trying to be insulting to anybody in the future, but Nikola Jokic is one of one. Came from the international game, so an opportunity exists there, and I'm sure he's aware of it.
Is there anything portable you can learn? You can learn at the collegiate level. You kind of teach, or you have to, these very enigmatic, these personalities like a Jokic, like a Porter. Jamal Murray comes across as a little mercurial. There has to be some overlap. I don't know what it is between coaching guys that have to play 82 games that have guaranteed money, and some sort of correlation between pretentious, high maintenance high schoolers and guys in the transfer portal. There has to be some overlap, right?
Yeah, I think it's the right mix that you're looking for, right? Because honestly, the one guy you didn't mention in there that I think makes it all go is Aaron Gordon. Like Aaron Gordon is that guy. So,
mercurial.
Right. So like if you can plug in an Aaron Gordon or whatever version of that at the college level, right? You could find somebody in the locker room that has just kind of this work ethic and this ability to hey, I know you guys are all really talented players. You're all thoroughbreds, but I'm the Clydesdale. I'm going to kind of run this thing, and you're going to follow my lead. And it's not to say that Nikola Jokic doesn't do that as well, but there's a certain amount that Aaron Gordon drives him. Aaron Gordon is almost constantly playing with some kind of ailment, some kind of injury, and yet he's out there making some of the biggest shots in a game and playing some of the best defense in the game every single night. So yeah, you have these flashy players. Jamal Murray, like you said, he is mercurial as far as his personality goes, and his work ethic has been called into question many times. I'd say most of his career, more so than not, except for this year. This is his first year that he really dialed in, buckled down, and went to it. Now, maybe new coaching staff. I mean, who knows? There's a lot of reasons why he might have decided this is the year to finally, put it all together. But Aaron Gordon, really, like having that personality in your locker room, as you guys would know, I think in all sports, is very, very important.
Ryan, when you're talking about we were in theoretically the type of model that Michael Malone might build in North Carolina, development is probably a key factor there, taking guys that maybe aren't the one and dones that can stick around for a couple of years and turning them into guys that are NBA level players and first round level players. With that in mind, how much credit do you give to Michael Malone and the development of Nikola Jokic when they got there at the same time?
I think it's a big deal. Again, it's like chicken or egg kind of conversation. Like Nikola Jokic, was he going to be great no matter what? And how much do you put on the level and value of coaching in the NBA, which is clearly a player-driven league? So it's not to say that Michael Malone didn't have an impact. And certainly if you ask Nikola Jokic, he's going to say a bunch of nice things about Michael Malone and his impact on him. And I'd say it's a commitment to a philosophy. And whether that is specifically from the coach or it's organizational, that's why we are where we are and why Nikola Jokic has become the player he is. But, certainly in that process of highlighting what he does, putting the right players around him, figuring out and staggering some of those, those minutes when it comes to the guys off the bench and who fits with him. Because, again, he plays center different than anybody else, maybe than we've ever seen, but especially in the modern NBA. So that's a unique challenge. And I imagine for Michael Malone, when he came to the conclusion that that was your best fit, well, and by the way, Yusuf Nurkic was the guy that they had drafted higher to be their franchise center. And they ended up having to move on from him because he didn't fit with Nikola Jokic, your second rounder. Like that by itself, when it happened, was pretty shocking to almost everybody. But then you fast forward a couple of years, you're like, oh, well, yeah, that was never going to work. But at the time, it was like, wait, you're moving on from the guy that you drafted in the first round that was supposed to be your franchise guy, and you're trading him in division of all things. So that was all pretty wild. But you fast forward and it's like, oh, it makes a ton of sense. But yeah, that for Michael Malone to be able to sort of facilitate all that and be part of all that and say, okay, no, we got to really focus in on how good this guy is, and we got to get the ball in his hands every single offensive set, and that is going to be our path to success.
Let me get you out on this, Ryan, and I appreciate the expertise. If we're going to try to find – everybody's going to wonder about the staff, right? The low-hanging fruit. You're going to get the Belichick comparisons of two pro guys on campus. I don't think the situations could be vastly different, right? There's no 30-something younger significant other. He appears to be able to at least talk to people and have a normal press conference. He appears to be engaged with people. But I get the pro thing. What kind of support does he need around him to accentuate his strengths?
Well, that's a really good question. I'd say for Michael Malone, there's going to be some familiarity, right? I mean, you're not going to go, take this job. You've never been a head coach in college without, some people around you that I mean, certainly David Adelman's not going to be available to him, but I imagine, there's going to be some opportunities for some of the guys on this staff and maybe the previous staff, the one that he had last year, that he'll be looking around for. And I think if nothing else, it's kind of like we have, for better or worse, a reference to Sean Payton and how he brought in all his New Orleans Saints guys out here. You just want to have guys that can teach it the way that you want it to be taught.
Signetti, the guy right here, he did the same thing.
Right, that's exactly right. It's a consistency of message that you want, at every single level of what you're doing. Whether it's the smallest things in drills, all the way up to roster build. I mean, it's all of it. So I imagine for Michael Malone, it's not to say that he couldn't kind of run the ship by himself. I think he's certainly capable of that. But I think a lot of it is going to be, all right, I have a consistent way that I believe we can win. You're bringing me in here. You're paying me $8.3 million per year, one of the highest paid college basketball coaches. So if you're going to do that, you got to give me the kind of guys that can teach this the way that I know how to win. Now, again, that's at the NBA level. How does that going to translate to the college level? It remains to be seen. But I'm pretty excited to see this experiment. It didn't work out so well for Bill Belichick, as you talked about, at UNC going 4-8 in his first year. But for Michael Malone, I think he has a chance to hit the ground running a little bit better, in part because UNC is a basketball school first and foremost, and I think that's going to help him a lot for recruiting.
Fantastic.
Ryan Edwards, KOA Colorado. Ryan, great stuff. We appreciate you, and give Dave our best as well.
Real quick, Ryan, I'm noticing the acoustic guitar. Do you and Tep share like this? Are you a big IPA beer snob? Have an app to rate your beers, and you're out on electric guitar? Is there a connection there of kindred spirits, or is it just a Colorado thing?
Listen, this is a thing that you cross the state border in Colorado. It's like a handshake. Like we all know, you're an IPA guy, you have an acoustic guitar, you have some Birkenstocks. If you don't know, then I can't tell you. You're just going to have to come to Colorado and check it out for yourself.
Well, I'm sitting next to a guy that prefers edibles over bowls, so he'd be just fine.
He'd be happy here.
Thanks, Ryan.
Take care, guys.
That is Ryan Edwards from KOA, Colorado.
He's like, for what a bunch of yahoos.
Speaking of Birkenstocks, Bear Case stock all the way down for Nebraska fans as he's entered the portal.
Well played.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, like, I wouldn't. It's just, man, I know you're going to be like, I'll never come across as the guy like whose pants are on fire, but I'm not stressing over that.
Over what?
I'm looking at the
Bear
dollar figure and kind of what you got. And I was one of his biggest advocates, especially the second half of the season.
Yeah. And defensively, he was important for them.
He was extremely important.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to be dismissive of that, but
there's a number that he's worth and there's a number he's not worth.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty self-explanatory.
Right there with you.
Let's just let's dive right into our picks here.
Why are you laughing?
Because we probably don't have time for a break. So let's go and do the let's do our
You don't want to do a break first?
Unless, I mean, are you okay working past 10 o'clock, Shane? I know it's an issue for you sometimes.
We could take it. What are we going to take a 60 so Neutron can get the clips up?
No, let's just get right to it.
Okay, that was a good interjection.
Did you write the number down so you can put it on the window? Suave? Oh, I think he's got it. He ain't saying anything.
You got the number?
I think he's got it.
I have the number on my phone, but I'm recording a clip right now.
Oh, so
my job.
Do you remember what the number is?
I do.
Okay.
You're not gonna believe me, but yeah, I do.
What's the number between?
Rico, you can text it to me and I'll verify.
Well, I'm recording something, so I'll run over there and I'll tell Austin. It's between 1 and 10.
Are you recording it on your phone?
Yes.
It's fine. We can just believe whatever number he says.
Okay,
We could just trust it.
There's only 3 of us, so if we can serpentine this thing, it's good anyway.
We don't have to have him. We don't have to have him run in and tell Austin what the number is. All right. Between 1 and 10, who would like to pick first?
Shane.
Shane, what's your number between 1 and 10?
3.
7.
I guess I'll go right in the middle and say 5.
Damon, Ravi, Shane. It was 8.
There we go.
All right, let's go. I'm going with Ludwig Oberg as my number 1.
All right, let me write these down. Oberg.
I'm going with Ludwig Oberg, Mr. Umlaut guy.
Spelled Auberg. Give me one Scotty Scheffler.
Oh, take the guy that's not playing well, but low-hanging fruit.
I mean, listen, he plays well at Augusta. What do you want me to do?
I'm trying to influence bad picks.
That's fine. All right, Shane, who do you got?
I got 2, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take BC's pick with Bryson.
Okay.
And then I'll go to Xander.
Damn it.
Shoffley and DeChambeau. All right, I'm going to take give me, I know he never does well here. Give me John Rahm.
You dummy.
He didn't do good last year.
Go ahead.
14.
I'm back-to-backers.
No, you're never going to be back-to-back. Oh, yeah, you are. You were first. Never mind. Sorry. I'm never going to be back-to-back. All right, go ahead.
Sucker. Give me Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
And I will take, God, he got the fancy meal. Give me Rory.
Ooh, McIlroy. All right.
You're going for the 4th.
So are we doing for
55 to 1 and lower for the long shot?
So I'm next. Are we doing 3 or 4?
4.
Plus the long shot or 4
yes,
included?
4 plus the long shot.
Okay, so my third is, you know what? Give me Cam Young.
Okay, Ravi.
Shane, you got 2 here.
Okay. So I'm picking 2, and then I have my long shot after that, right?
Yep.
No, the long shot is on the comeback.
Okay. So where's the long shot cutoff at?
55 to 1.
55 to 1. Okay.
I kind of split it. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Justin and Patrick Reed.
Wow. Justin Thomas.
No, Justin Rose.
Justin. Oh, nice. Okay. And Patty Reed.
Yeah.
All right, Ravi.
So this is my long shot?
No. Yes.
I'm gonna need a more definitive
No,
answer.
wait a minute.
See, yeah.
So Shane, he took his long shot and his third golfer.
Yeah. So we're doing 3 plus the long shot.
4, Ravi. This is your 4th golfer.
This is you confused him.
No, this is your 4th golfer.
All right, so he didn't have to choose the long shot there.
No, he just took it, I guess.
Because you told him to.
No, I didn't. I said just do 2 golfers and not the long shot. It's recorded.
All right.
You can't. He gets the back-to-backs, but not the long shot.
All right.
I think I said that.
I'm not sure. I got confused.
Yeah, I think that's a you thing.
It almost never is. Give me. Let's do Victor Hovland.
I like it. You're gonna kill me for going back to this well.
No, go for it. It'll be fun.
Who am I going back to? And I'm gonna cry the whole time.
Who is it?
Colin Markow.
Have fun with that. All right, now you get your long shot.
This one's easy.
Who you got?
Si Woo Kim at 55-1. Si Woo Kim.
I mean, I've got him at 49-1, but okay.
Si Woo Kim.
All right, my long shot is. Where'd he go? I'm down to 2. Who do I want here?
Who's it between?
Jason Day and Adam Scott.
Oh, Jay's my favorite. You know my favorite.
Yeah, he finished like 5th. I'm gonna go Jason Day.
He's gonna give you 2 good days.
Yeah, Jason Day.
He's gonna give you 2 good days.
All right, Shane, your long shot. Or no, now he gets to pick a rando.
So
what was his long shot?
Did you pick a
long shot? No, because you said it was 55, right?
Yeah. So you wanted Justin Rose. I get the Patrick Reed one. Was he like 32-1?
I've got him at 43. So yeah, here's your long shot.
Okay, this is your long shot then. Interesting. You took Reed because he just typically plays well there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going for overall number, right?
Yeah, like total. And you won last time. So who are we to tell you?
I don't know about that. I'm gonna go with the longer shot. I'm gonna go with Connors.
Corey?
Yeah.
All right.
Remember my experiment with Corey Connors?
I don't know. He got 8th last year.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't at the Masters. It was he didn't make the cut.
Was that the U.S. Open?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I kind of wanted Justin Rose. That was a good pick by Shano. All right. I've got Scheffler, Rahm, Young, Hovland, Day. DB has Oberg, Fitzpatrick, McIlroy, Morikawa, and Kim. And Shane has DeChambeau, Schauffele, Rose, Reed, and Connors. Those are our picks. We will add them up.
What are we playing for?
I don't know.
All right. Shane's the only one that won't put in on a gift. So that's why I feel like we'd just be covering for him. Should we?
No, we should never cover for Shane.
Well, you let him win last year by giving him a guy that had a 4-stroke lead.
That's because I still thought he would screw it up, if I'm being honest.
Wow.
I mean, I thought he'd blow it anyway.
I'll have Sasha come up with something.
All right. That's the show for today. Make sure you look on the Patreon after this. We're about to record a little bit of game breakdown, and that'll be out for you probably tomorrow. Depends on whenever our crack team of producers gets it running.
It's a lot of brain children.
What is that for? Rico just flipped me off.
And he did it left-handed. And then right-handed. That's pretty talented.
You can't do it with both?
Well, I wouldn't do it at all.
Why is Signetti and Drake today?
2 goats.
Oh, get out of here. Trash.
That's so childish.
That's the worst answer you could have given. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla. We'll be back tomorrow. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.